Hello. What is going on in the chat? What are you guys going on about? Jersey Mikes and wrestling feuds and what else is happening? What's going on? Oh my god, look at this novel. Cutthroat is here. You guys are going back and forth about King of the Ring or something? Oh my god. You guys are the best. Good to see you. Hey, happy Sunday to everybody. Thanks for joining me and this guy over here. Will coming off his bender.
Where am I? Why am I here?
Mutron, I'm not dad. Will's dad, not me. Oh, wait. Good to see you guys. Matt's here, JT, Cutthroat, Mutron. I think that's it. There's more of you in the chat. You're just being silent, arguing who's the king of chat. Wouldn't the king of chat be the person who texts the most during the live stream? I think that would be the king of chat.
Yeah, your chat, your rules.
I don't know. I don't have no rules. I'm a small YouTube channel, man. I'm not. There's no rules. Just be kind to each other.
Easy, Biggie Smalls.
That's all I ask. We have Mr. Big Time Twitch streamer WillLo with us.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me again. Nice to be here.
Hanging out. Will, have you seen anything about Summer Game Fest? And what have you been looking forward to in Summer Game Fest? I haven't seen anything about Summer Game Fest.
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. It was okay. I don't know. I watched the live stream. I wasn't like blown away by a lot of stuff. Like the only game that I'm super excited that came out of that whole thing for me was Monster Hunter Wilds. And that's just because I freaking love Monster Hunter.
Right.
I have a chair dedicated to Monster Hunter that I spent a lot of money on. So, yeah.
Cutthroat, it's basically what took the place of E3 since the pandemic kind of killed all those community events. It's kind of like that.
Did you see how much they were charging for people to get like on that show?
Okay, so I'm a little confused. So it's a giant like auditorium, so there's only enough seats, but it is live. It's just like a mini E3, is it not? It's just
kinda, yeah.
Looks like an awards ceremony to me. But anyway, no, how much?
Let me pull it up here. I was hoping you would talk a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine what tickets are. We were talking about this on the stream yesterday, everybody, how we miss, even though I've never been to an E3, I certainly would have liked to have the option to go. But it doesn't look like that's going to be a thing anymore. So one more human element taken out of gaming, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what's the
it was kind of replaced, right? Like it wasn't just like removed. It's moved on. Like E3 wasn't what it used to be. But then Jeff Keighley kind of had their own show with the Summer Games Fest and then the Game Awards held at the end of the year, right? So
which I still, the Game Awards, people could say what they want. I still think they're fun simply for what they are.
Yeah, like they could be done better, and I think they're like it's been around for a while. It has been around for 10 years, and you think they would have done better by now. But they are learning. But it does seem like kind of like a big cash grab from what recently came out. Because according to a lot of online publications, so if you want to put a 1 minute long like video,
Hmm.
Summer's Game Fest. Now I will put in this caveat that they did have some free areas reserved for indie developers.
Okay.
Okay. So that like the smaller teams can still have some of their game shown, which is great. But if you wanted, okay, I want you to ballpark a number. If you wanted to put a 1 minute long video to show at the Summer's Game Fest, how much do you think it would cost?
A 1 minute trailer if I had a game. I 25,000.
All right. So we're going to times that by 10 because it's a $250,000 to get a 1 minute long video to be played at the Summer's Game Fest.
Is that not the problem we've been talking about with the industry lately? Things are just too much money. Nobody can afford to do anything. Like,
You get a $50,000 discount if you do 2 minutes though, because it's $450,000.
yeah, that's no thanks. What indie developers have that just hanging around? I don't think
Yeah,
it's
but that's the thing. Like they don't. That's why they have the free ones. But like that $250,000 just to show a 1 minute video.
well, when you're the only game in town, and I hate to say it, but that's kind of what happens, right? It sucks, but I don't know. I think I like the idea of everyone just doing. I like the live event, but I also like what Nintendo started doing years ago with the I forget what they're called. What are they called? What does Nintendo do? Those presentations that
Directs?
they do. They're directs, the Nintendo directs, yeah. When they do just the produced videos, just get to the point. Here's this game, here's that game. You know what I mean? I mean, these events, Rockstar's never going to show up. Stuff like that. And I think everyone wants to see Grand Theft Auto. We're not going to see anything about Grand Theft Auto. So just close the whole thing down. Screw it. Forget it.
Mhm. Yeah, it just seems crazy. And like more and more as we keep going on and stuff keeps coming out, like the inflation for things in games, especially AAA titles, like
Stupid.
it's insane. And that's why it's so expensive to make because they're wasting a lot of funding on like stupid things.
Why do you need to? I mean, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why do you need to even show a 1 minute trailer to get the exposure? I'm of the opinion that if you make a great game, word of mouth it's going to spread it anyway. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
But like this is here's the caveat because like when you were thinking about E3, these are events, right? And
yeah,
we know that there's going to be a set amount of eyes on there. When you throw up a video on YouTube by yourself, you don't really know who's going to view it and if the
yeah,
right people are going to view it, right?
that's true. That's very
So then
true.
you get these things come up where it's like, oh, well, I could be on the Summer Game Fest. So I know this amount of millions of people are going to see the game guaranteed. But like the cost of entry is stupid.
250 grand. No one's got that lying around. I can tell you that right now. And I'm going to cover it this Thursday on Morning Coffee. So I was going to do it after our stream today, but I didn't realize that it was still going. Microsoft is yet to present still. That's today. So by the time I'm going to cover it, there's going to be stuff going live. So we'll give it a few days. And of course, I'm not here to give you breaking news. My interest in covering it is so we can all discuss. So just so you guys know, you're not going to get breaking news here. I'll tell you that. We're talking about EGM from 1991, for God's sake.
Hey, yo, breaking news, huh?
Bunch of people popped in. We got Mr. Vegas from Australia. Good to see you, mate. TJ is here from across the pond. Mo, good morning, sunshine. Good to see you. And the Den of Geek has arrived as well. Great to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Zazel from Australia as well. What's up, my brother? How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. The king of chat will be crowned by the person that types the most that makes sense in the chat. We're just going to end it now. It's not first to be here because I have no way who's going to be here for the whole stream, and I don't want to make people stay here for the whole stream. Come and go as you please. So let's just say whoever types the most intelligent comments, you're the king of chat. Sound good? Great.
Intelligent?
Well, whoever types the most stuff that's not "that's what she said" jokes. That's why I'll never be the king of chat. Anyway, we are at EGM 20, my good friend. Are you excited? 20
Yes.
issues. We've done 20 issues of this.
Battletoads.
Yeah, and I had to take a double take. I was like, is this a Super Nintendo one? But still, Super Nintendo has not been released yet. And our multiverse 1991 that we're living in right now, Sunday mornings. So this is just the NES Battletoads. Are you ready to rock? You have your read along?
I got it. It's up. I
Uh,
see Rash. I never
I
know the
don't
names
know
of
any of
these.
these guys, man. He's the frog guy.
Rash, Pimple.
And Zits.
Yeah, that's it.
Disgusting. Make me sick. Anybody who wants to read along, Retro Mags is the wonderful website where we grab the PDF for these. So make sure you check out Retro Mags. They have more than just EGM. They got Nintendo Powers, Game Pros, video game, computer entertainment, everything you want. Speaking moistly, good to see you. Mutron, I don't think I said hello to you. My apologies. Hello. I highlighted your comment.
Hey,
You,
highlight that.
you guys were talking about old Bill. We'll just say old Bill. Yeah, there's a lot. Anyway, I shared a couple links with a few of you. You could check out some more. There's been a lot going on with Bill over the
Bill?
last few years. I'm not saying his last name. You know, Mr. Kong.
Oh,
William.
gotcha.
William himself.
I'm not saying nothing.
No. So this is issue 20, 1991 spring preview. So we're in 91. We're getting there. And if you were in Canada, like Mr. Lowe and myself are, you paid $4.95 Canadian for this. And I remember for the longest time, this would come out to $5.75 with tax. I made sure I had just enough money. Mom, please. She would give me lunch money, but it would go to EGM. So that's why I grew up to be 5'7", because I didn't eat. I spent all my money on video game magazines.
That's the reason.
TJ, I have not had a chance yet, my friend. No. Today, hopefully, I get caught up on all that. Azazel says Battletoads was a legitimate phenomenon that only lasted a hot minute, but it was huge for a short while. It was in the time of Double Dragon, Ninja Turtles more specifically. This kind of tried to get a piece of that pie. Are you a fan of this game, Will?
I did growing up, yeah. Actually, oddly, out of all the Battletoads games, I was more of a fan of Battletoads and Double Dragon than I was of just the Battletoads game.
Mm. Yeah. This one here, it's made by Rare. First of all, that should be stated. It's a great game, but this follows suit with Earthworm Jim and the kind of game that I don't like, which is every stage is something different for the most part. So the first 3 or 4 stages are all different from each one. I personally just don't like that in an action game. So this game plays well, it looks great, but we all know it's just hard as hell. Anyone ever got past level 3 with those the
Speeder
speeder
bikes?
bikes? Yeah, forget it, man.
Later on in life, I did, but not as a kid.
Yeah. There's great action figures too for these Battletoads. I can't remember. Does anyone in the chat know who makes the Battletoads figures? I do want to check those out too. And Will, this is a question just for you, buddy. Have you seen, when you've been out at Walmart and stuff, have you seen any of the Street Fighter figures?
Mm-mm.
The
I've been
Jada
keeping an
ones?
eye out, but I haven't seen any. I know I don't know if you know Danny, but Danny found some
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah.
at EB or
EB's
GameStop, as
carrying
they
them.
call it.
Yeah, the Jada ones. Yeah, they're great. I got a couple at Heroes way back when they first came out, but I'm just trying to locate them, and they're on Amazon, but they're through resellers, so they're like $60 each.
Yeah,
And
they're
one
expensive.
one of the big things here is they're like 20 something dollars. So I mean they're cheap. So just curious if you've seen any around.
I
All
would
right.
really like if Capcom remade did like actual figures based off of the Street Fighter 6 models, because I think the characters all in Street Fighter 6 look so good.
They do.
And I
Well,
think if they had figures based off of those models, it'd be freaking fantastic.
I agree. And some great Street Fighter 6 news. So I promise I'm going to get into that soon, especially since Terry's coming, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh God, it's leading a lot of rumors since like Maya and Terry are in there. Like, are they alluding into like their next game being like Capcom versus SNK 3? Like, it seems weird to pair them together like that, right? Or do they just release them all in and be like, yeah, here you want your, your King of Fighters guys. Here you go.
Well, I don't know. It's really strange because a lot of people are kind of perturbed because they want, oh, why isn't so and so in here from Street Fighter? They're going with another
That's
company's characters, right?
I feel like that's a valid. Oh, I know we're getting into it. I'm sorry.
No,
But like
no.
that's a valid argument though, right? Because I feel like that's the same with Mortal Kombat, where they had all these um like different like what do you call it? Crossover
They're the
characters.
licensed guys, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool, but you have this whole roster of other characters that have been in the franchise that people already love. Why aren't you bringing those in first?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you only
Yeah,
get 4 characters a year, I think is their roadmap.
for Street Fighter. Well, we know that Street Fighter 6, I mean, I wouldn't even be worrying about another game to replace this as far as 7 goes. They might bring out another fighter for sure, but I think, yeah, I remember Street Fighter 4 went on for a long time. 5 went on for a long time. Every Street Fighter has gone on for many, many years, which I think is
Yeah.
great. I love that.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
quick to make one again, that's for sure.
no, it's, well, I mean, they have every right to earn money, of course, but especially since you're paying for characters, you're paying for costumes. There's no way to earn any of this stuff. Like, you can't unlock the characters, as far as I know, by winning. So if you want Bison, you gotta pay whatever he costs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, which is I think they lock it behind the year pass. So you buy the year pass and then you get the 4 characters as they release throughout the year.
Right.
Because that's what they did with Akuma and them. And Akuma's badass. I was playing with Akuma in Street Fighter 6 this past week. He's wicked.
He's good. Well, Akuma's always great. He's a very terrifying. He looks like Sabretooth now. He's big beard.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
cool.
very scary.
Um, Zazel, yes. Did anybody actually ring those cheat hotlines? I did once, my friend, for I think it was Super Metroid, and man, did I get a licking from my mom. My butt got tanned for that because I remember you call, and it's like, thank you for calling whatever hotline, Nintendo hotline. Please hold, and every minute you're on hold, it still counts, right? So she got the phone bill. Man, I got in trouble, dude. And I don't even remember what he said. I felt like I was talking to like some celebrity when he finally got on the phone, but
You're like, oh my god, he's here. Help me with my video game.
was it helpful? I don't remember. I wish. I think so. I mean, think of how archaic that is. He's just scribing to you on the phone. Okay, what level are you on? It's like, I don't know. I'm in this area. Okay, well, you're gonna move a couple feet, then you're gonna want to duck and use the bomb. Then you want to get, and you have to like visually remember what he's saying. Like, that's crazy. Crazy to me. Anyway. All right, let's get into it. Wall Street Kid. Nothing says fun like finance, especially when you're a kid with a Nintendo. Am I right?
Yes.
There was a Wall Street game for the 2600. I can't remember what it was called, but it was stockbrokers jumping to their death.
What?
They're jumping off buildings, and you were like 2 firefighters, and you had to go under them and catch them.
Huh.
Not kidding.
Like a
Brutal.
market crash and they're all trying to
It was
like just
something
jump
like that.
out.
It was a Wall Street. I can't remember what it was called, but
I never, as a kid growing up, I avoided this because I was like, oh, that's just some business thing. That sounds stupid.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound fun today. Doesn't sound fun today, but hey, if that's your thing, go for it. Metal Storm, man, we're getting some really good. Like, that's a beautiful ad. That's a
Hmm?
beautiful ad. That one's not so great.
Womp womp. We went from the good to the bad.
If people complain about today's games, yeah, oh, I wish I remember what it was called. Oh well, I'll look it up. I don't like this is the big opener. This is my least favorite. part of the
You
reads.
used to like this. You're like, oh yeah, insert coin. Let's go.
Okay, we're gonna split this up again. Our trusty editor Steve has wrote us another great editorial. Well, we don't know if it's great. We're going to find out. Real life video game warriors from Steve Harris, editor EGM. As I sit in front of my trusty computer, tapping out the latest observations from the electronic gaming world, the Consumer Electronics Show convention has just ended. Ooh, what weird timing. Has just ended, and the war against Iraq is just 2 days old. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. Well, I had planned to dedicate this space to express some personal opinions that were formed at the Consumer Electronics Show in regards to new product. A very interesting bit of reporting has continued to illuminate the tube. The war on Iraq. I don't know if you were
This is
too
91.
young. If you were too young to remember that, Will.
This is 91, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been 6.
Yeah. So you're a bit too young. I remember it being on the TV in the kitchen. I remember my mom had it on. Scared the living crap out of me, man. As I'm sure it scared everybody. I didn't know what it meant. I just knew everyone was in a panic, and yeah. I don't know if I want to read this. I try and keep it unpolitical. I mean, this is Steve's opinion still, but yeah. Let me just skim through this. Yeah, I don't know if I want to read this. Skip down here. Maybe it'll change. Besides the fact that the show was held inside what amounted to be little more than glorified greenhouses, which always seems to be either too hot or too cold, the Winter Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas did see the introduction of some new hardware. Behind the doors peek at the 16-bit Nintendo and more softs than you can imagine. Willie's favorite word of the day, softs.
I hate it. I still hate it.
Having sampled what the Super Famicom could do, it was a little disappointing that Nintendo chose not to make a stronger announcement for their high-end console, but not that surprising. At Nintendo's press conference, the powers that be at the big end did little more than promise to sell $4 billion worth of equipment once again this year, including 2 million Super Nintendos in just over 3 months' time. That means Nintendo plans to sell twice as many units as the Genesis, and roughly
Dang.
8/8 of the time. Sure, it's optimistic, but it also lets Nintendo fill in a 20% decline in sales with a new product line. This issue is dedicated to the Consumer Electronics Show by delivering our biannual photo excursion throughout the show, spotlighting all the softs that were on display. It's also dedicated to our armed forces. May peace bring them home safely. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, man. It's pretty heavy going back to that. Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's a big one.
Yeah, what a
Because
time.
that's definitely a big topic for a lot of people.
Matt says Steve getting political on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys know I don't speak politics on here, so it's not that I don't agree or disagree. I find it best just to not bring that stuff up. And then there's Bart.
All that seriousness, and then Bart versus Space Mutants.
Matt brings up something good too. This is the first time they said Super NES. That's true. Yep, that's true. Live footage of CNN in the Gulf War. Yeah, I remember that, dude. Scary stuff. All right, buddy. We're going to pass it over to WillLo, and WillLo's going to pick, I'm sure, the shortest of all these.
Yeah. Let's see. Cross licensing? No, that doesn't sound interesting.
Well, you could go. Do you want to go?
RGB for Genesis? Where are... All right, here we go. We'll read a few on the side here. These sound more interesting. Because the one on the left there, the RGB for Genesis, that one's just like technical stuff.
It's the RGB monitor, right? So it's just color resolution and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then cross licensing is just asking about like different licenses being on different platforms and compatible with like CD-ROMs. That sounds boring.
They were dealing with RGB back then too. I'm gonna read it after you're done yours because I don't really fully understand what it is. So
All right, here we go.
go for it.
Where are question mark? I'll read a few of these here. We got in issue number 13. There was a preview of 2 games for the Genesis I want to buy. The first game is Caesar by Micronet. I wanted to say Microsoft.
It looked like Micronut to me. I was like, what? Hey, I'm not the greatest reader. Whatever. Look like Micronut. Anyway, go ahead.
And the second is 688 Attack Sub by Electronic Arts. Oh, good old EA. Back in the day when EA was good. You know? Can you please tell me when these games will be released? Oh, here we go.
That's Jason Smith from Keedysville, MD. What's MD, guys? States, MD. Maryland? No.
Middle Dimension.
What's MD?
We're going to go to the David Mayo just because he says this one word. Hey, good job on your bodacious magazine. Some time ago, I heard that Tecmo Bowl 2 is coming. Where is it? That's how David sounds.
David Merrimore. David Mayo from Baltimore, Maryland.
David Mayo.
Whatever. Micronut.
Quite a while back, you showed a picture of Spider-Man for Genesis. I would really like to get this game and have not seen it in any of the stores. Could you do a review of this game? This is like everybody just asking for stuff.
Okay, Ron Saxton, Ashland, Atlanta.
There we go. Yep. I'm a frequent reader of EGM, and I believe that you have the best magazine on the shelves. What I would like to see are more fact files of Genesis games. Arrow Flash is one I'm really interested in. Coming in from Daniel Stotridge. Stotridge? Oh.
Stoddridge. Topeka, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas, whatever.
Let's see. What is this new RPG called Shining Darkness? Is it really 8 meg? It could blow away Phantasy Star 3. Can you show us pictures of the Supersoft?
You're gonna have to call Micronut for that. JLS, what's up, Jesse? How you doing, buddy?
We're
Good to see you, man.
We're like toddlers. Hey, can you show me the
Sunday.
Supersoft?
It's the end of the week. Okay, everyone's tired on Sunday morning. That's our excuse. Micronut and the Supersoft.
Yeah, but my excuse is that says Supersoft. Who asked to see someone Supersoft?
Well, it looked like Jackie Wilson from Los Angeles, Canada, wants to see
Canada. What? Oh my! Well, it is cold up here. Sometimes it gets. The softs get cold.
Oh my God! I was in the pool. All right, RBG for Genesis. Oh wait, you got to read the. Sorry, you got to read the editor. My bad.
Supersofts killed me.
You thought you were going to get away with all these little ones, and there's still the editorial or the editor right back. Get on it.
Phew. We could do a whole letters column just where are letters. We get many of your answers by thumbing through this. You can get many of your answers by thumbing through this special CES issue. The Ambition of Caesar is now called Warrior of Rome and will be coming out as an 8 meg plus battery cart. BigNet. Are they just making names up now? I feel like they're just trolling us at this point. They went back in time and added these words in just so that they could hear us.
I don't know. I think that's so funny.
Hey, BigNet. Have you seen Supersoft, BigNet? Big Net will have it out in April. Okay. 688 Attack Sub is by Sega, and their list shows it coming out in June. Tecmo Bowl 2 is now Super Bowl. Okay, yep. And special preview pictures of this fantastic soft are on page 76. Spider-Man is coming along nicely and is scheduled for a July release. For Shining Darkness, yes, it is 8 megs. And Aeroflash, you will have to pick up a copy of the newest issue of Mega Play, all Sega Magazine. There we go, English.
Oh my god!
All right, go. Those are awful. I'm sorry. I thought they'd be more exciting.
Jesse's a super soft micro nutser.
They're making up words.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying. Oh god. Do we want to go back and read the? I think I. Oops. Oh god. Oh my god.
Yeah, you want to read the RGB one, right?
RGB for Genesis. With all the progress being made in improving the resolution of home video games, one thing that seems to have been overlooked is an article on game monitors that are compatible with and can fully display the full power of these new super systems. I've tried just about everywhere to find a monitor that will work with the RGB analog output of my Genesis. To no avail. Since you claim to be the last word in video games, can you tell us what monitor will do the job? John Smartmouth Gurney from Appleton, Winnipeg. We're glad to hear you are turning to us for technical advice. As you stated, the RGB monitor will indeed be the best way to squeeze out every bit of graphic data from your new 16-bit systems. You are on the right track, but the problem you're having is not the monitor, but rather it is with the cable. Any RGB monitor with an analog, not digital, input will work. But what you have to do is take the monitor and Genesis to a good electronics engineer or knowledgeable computer technician. He or she will be able to identify the matchup red, green, blue, sync the ground pins on each. I mean, this sounds like a lot of work. Like, do these people have robot eyes? Like, come on, man. Right? Is it just me, dude? Are you like a resolution guy too? Like, come on, who cares? Does it really matter that much?
Honestly, like today, nowadays,
I'll
like,
get the lips. It doesn't matter.
no, that's what I was gonna say. Oh my god, you get so defensive right away. I was saying most of the time, like everybody's like, 4K, you got to get that 4K resolution. I'm like, I don't really care, man. It looks good. My eyes are fading as is in my old age, so it all starts blending together. I'm just guessing what's on the screen now, anyways.
Den says they never contacted me. I am insulted. Well, you should message John Gurnpee from Appleton, Wisconsin. Message him and see if he answers. Go, dude, in 1991, you wrote an article and I was like 5 and you didn't contact me about my future job. I would totally do it. He will be able to identify a custom cable will have to be made as there is no universal cable on the market, but be aware it won't be cheap. The cable and labor will be around $100 and the monitor can run anywhere from $400 to $2,000. TurboGrafx can go through the same procedure by having the optical turbo booster modified. Likewise for the Super Famicom. For a less expensive alternative, you may want to consider a normal computer monitor or one with a new monitor/TVs with audio-video inputs. Sega has just come out with a ready-made cable which will connect directly to the audio-video terminals that will be under $20. JLS, what I've looked up, I mean, we could look them up, but I mean, how would you know who's who, right? I've looked up the editors before on Facebook, and Steve and Ed, to my sleuthing, which is on the greatest, I've never found them. I found pictures of them. Did I say Turbo Grape?
Hey,
Probably.
Turbo Grape.
Whatever.
We got the Super Soft with the Turbo Grape.
Don't forget Micro Nut.
Yep. Hey, Micro Nut.
All right.
Want
Double
some Turbo
Dragon
Grapes and
3.
Micronuts?
Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stone. Not a bad game, but pretty not great.
I think it was just there's too many. Like, it just, I don't know. I was just tired of Double Dragon at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know what? I gotta say, and I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. We're getting to the point where we're getting Final Fight on the Super Nintendo. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. But man, once I played Final Fight, dude, I don't know what it is about that game. I love it. It's my favorite beat 'em up, and everything else kind of paled, like Double Dragon wise, just seemed so archaic. I'm not talking about X-Men or Turtles or anything like that, but stuff like this is it was just straight up fists. Once you played Final Fight, anyway.
Yeah. I was just never really big on those games in general, but I could see it.
You're up.
I'm trying to find a good one.
Do you have a copy of this, or are you relying on my feed?
No, I am.
Okay.
I'm on my own. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is like a freaking textbook.
When did Double Dragon come out? I want to say 87 or 88 in the arcade. I'm guessing.
I feel like we should read this one for Cutthroat, but it's a freaking novel.
Which one? Oh, more Neo. I'll do that one if you want. But he likes your voice. You read it. This is for you, Cutthroat.
Yeah. Okay.
The Geo, baby. You got it, Jesse. Awesome stuff.
Have you given an empathetic nay as to the viability of the Neo Geo? Granted, the machine is quite expensive, but you may rationalize the expenditure by getting only one true arcade game instead of 3 mediocre Genesis games. Wow. Okay.
Jeez.
Oh, this next part makes sense why he's saying all these words and things. I am a 23-year-old English major, and only the very best Genesis cart can even half-heartedly hold my interest.
Oh my God, Michael, you suck.
I feel like this is rough. I finally dumped that, though. I asserted that you perhaps have heard of Orange County, Beverly Hills, or Palos Verdes. No, I don't know that last one. Palos Verdes. Okay, whatever. Not all people are created equal, and those with the money will buy the system.
Oh my God.
Easy.
Dude.
This is like, the dude's like the high and muddy, like, oh my God, I got money out by the Neo Geo. I don't need that.
Dude, this is real documentation of our first ever elitist gatekeeper in gaming right here. It's Michael DeLay from Long Beach, Cali. Wow.
I almost feel like you remember the Family Guy episodes with the rich people, and you had that guy with the lower upper lip. That's how I feel like he would sound. Your coverage.
That would be like when you call your mom, you call her Mumsy.
Yeah, Mumsy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mumsy, your coverage of this masterpiece sucks. Ugh, I can't do that voice. Anyways, as compared to the other mags, and maybe your game reviewers do not appreciate the sophistication of the Neo Geo.
Wait. Go back. Say that again. Not all people are created equal. Okay, your coverage of this mag. Say that again.
Your coverage of this masterpiece sucks as compared to the other mags, and maybe your reviewers do not appreciate the sophistication of the Neo Geo. This guy's an ass.
Wow.
Because they're not because they are not sophisticated themselves. I was a devoted reader of EGM, and I will still peruse it until my subscription runs out. Some advice.
God.
Pray your target audience remains predominantly young and unsophisticated.
What a
P.S. Martin, do you really believe that you can beat Nam for $5 at the arcade? I've been on level 3 for months now.
Oh, wow.
Michael Daly.
Long Beach snot.
Jeez.
This is the first, elite gatekeeper right here. Michael. He went on to start, I don't know, he made the Jaguar. I don't know, he did something. Wow, that's crazy. So this guy is basically saying, with all his fancy talk, that there's not enough Neo Geo coverage because not all people are created equal, and if you're not rich enough to own one, that's kind of your own problem. And there should be more coverage, but your readers are too young and too dumb to understand what good games are because Genesis games can only hold the attention of young and unsophisticated people, unlike Michael. Holy ships.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I thought this would be
Yeah,
a fun thing about asking about more Neo Geo games, but Michael ruined my day.
dude, he was the first. I think he was the first troll. Period. Yeah. Wow.
I wonder if he ever looked back on this and was like, "Man, what is wrong with me?"
Okay. Let's see. I want to see what Steve has to say to him.
It is too bad that you're letting your subscription run out, as you will then miss out on the only game mag who will be doing Neo Geo reviews.
One
We
sec,
were the
Will. One sec. Sorry. I got to say, this is also the first documented case of the first unsub. Just saying.
oh
Just saying.
oh yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Where was I? I lost my track. Reviews. We were the first to report on that system, and we now are the first to give multiplayer reviews. We do not give a nay to the Neo Geo, but neither do we give it all tens as the ultimate system. Yes, it is the arcade machine, but that is not always a benefit. One major drawback, other than price, is the fact that it is too much like an arcade machine. Arcade shooters and or action games are set up to eat quarters.
Yep.
You die, put in another 2 bits, and then continue from where you died. When done on the home Neo Geo, this means infinite continues, and not having to worry about dying does not take away from the challenge. Not worrying about dying does take away from the challenge. On the positive side, we agree with you that their sports games are among the best ever, as are the great game's graphics and sound. And just as there is a market for a $200,000 Lamborghini, there is one for the Neo Geo. Now that the system has a larger base of users, we will start to cover this elite product and its software in our previews, facts files, and multi-person reviews. I feel like he handled that pretty well.
Lot of good stuff going on. Speaking Moisty says this is gaming history. Mo, the first ever unsub, nice. And JLS says, ladies and gentlemen, we found Troll Prime. And then Steve is the first troll. Oh my God, this is a history. Guys, go to eBay right now. Grab your copy of EGM 20 because after this broadcast, it's going to skyrocket in value. I guarantee it, but probably not. Dude, I can't top that. That was great.
That was pretty good.
That was
He's a jerk, but that was great.
More contest problems, more Neo Geo, too high a score. I don't know. Speedy Japanese translator wanted. I'll do that one.
Yeah, that one seems to be talking about fantasy.
Phantasy Star 3, okay. Why does it take so long for the Japanese games to come to the US market? For example, Dragon Warrior 2 and Final Fantasy were both released in Japan in 1987. Sega is not much better, as Phantasy Star 3 was out in Japan early last year, and every time I call Sega... This is why the internet was created by Bill Johnsonton, was that so no one would use phones anymore because everyone's like sick of people calling us. You mean they could just look us up and call us? Sorry. Every time I try and call Sega, they keep pushing back the US release date. Who is answering the phone, by the way? What department is that?
I like to think that every time he called, they purposely pushed it back just because he kept calling. Hey, is it that B Curran again? Push it back.
Need a copy signed by Michael Bratterton. Do it, man. Coming soon, Phantasy Star 3. You're right. It does seem like an eternity, but besides language translation, many times the games has to be modified to the US market. Timing is also important, as you would have to agree that, for example, bringing out The Sword of Vermilion and star 3, bro, dude. This is cool terms now. At the same time, wouldn't be too wise because that's two RPGs for all you non Neo Geo fans out there that don't know any better. It may be frustrating to have to wait so long most times. The changes are for the better. I mean, I didn't get anything out of that. So what? Right, next.
Big whoop. All right, are we doing another one of these? Or are we just moving on? Let's see. More
No, we got
contest problems.
We got more.
Maybe?
We got two high score contest problems. What's next? Okay, the reviews. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's do actually too high a score. In a back issue, you asked for ideas how you can improve your Meg. I believe that your monthly US National Video Game Team top score. Oh my god.
Wow.
That's a freaking mouthful.
Is
Contest is unfair. In one game, the high score is in the millions, while the game score rolls over at 999,999. How can this be?
Oh, Santiago. When
Sorry,
it rolls
Santiago.
over, that's the million. Then you start again and add
Yeah.
whatever the score is to the million. Jeez.
A good point, Santiago. In the game you mentioned, the high score was verified by watching the VCR tape. So this verifies. We were wondering how they got those scores in, right? So people would mail them the VCR tapes and be like, "Hey, this is what I did."
But dude, do you realize you
Like
would have
Mimi.
had to have the coolest parents? I mean, not all people in this generation are kids, but I'm just saying you would have had the coolest parents or like a really good job to be able to have a VCR in this time and be able to record that, like figure out a way to record your gaming system. I don't know, it might have not been too hard. I don't know. Take the tape, mail it off. I'm just saying it was not the norm. Like I said to you a few weeks ago, I remember like asking my mom if I could use the camera to take a picture of, and it was just me beating a game to show my friends. I think it was Ninja Gaiden 2, and I got laughed out of the house. So
Wow.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I never really thought of that because, like, that was like I grew up with VCRs, but I more started using like DVDs when I started watching more stuff later on. I guess.
I guess it just would have been like for me, and I'm just can only speak from my personal experience. It would have been just like, you're not messing with the VCR. Leave the VCR alone. I would have got yelled at. Don't unhook it and hook up the NES, even though it would have been just the coaxial you're unscrewing. But yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, we've seen too, and again, we're not mentioning names here. We've seen in the King of Kong that submitting a VHS tape doesn't necessarily mean it's
Yeah.
a
Old
good thing.
Bimmy.
Yeah. But anyway,
Okay. We're from VCR tape that was included with the entry form. The tape ran through the entire game and included several rollovers. Wow. Of the score. We agree with you that not everyone can tape their game, and changes are being made effective this issue to the monthly contest rules. Now there will be a random drawing for all entries with scores that roll over. For the rest of the games listed in the high score pages, rollovers will be allowed, but must be proven with a VCR tape. Huh.
well, yeah, because you can't take a picture of all zeros,
Yeah.
right? That's interesting. I feel like 1991 is still pretty. Like, aren't we past like the high score thing now? I mean, it was all about beating the game. I don't know, at least in my circles. No one really cared about scores. It was just there's scores in Super Mario Brothers. I don't know. All we cared about is if anyone beat it, I should say. But
Hey,
that,
the old beat it.
the old beat it micro nut style.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really understood like what the point of the score was in the old Mario games. It was just like games had that in the arcade, so they were like, yeah, I guess we got to put a scoreboard on there. I don't know.
Well, now it's different with Twitch and stuff right now because there's like point pressing speed runs.
Yeah.
where it's just about getting the high score in Mario, and getting to the end is not necessarily the point of it. Is to get as many points as you can within the time limit using your math skills to weigh out the timer versus the points at each level.
Okay, but
But
for us common people, nobody ever
yeah,
used the scores.
for here it was like, okay, we went from the 2600 era where it was literally nothing but getting a high score to now you have a Mario game that has, a story to it, and the point is to get to the end of the story. You beat it, you can walk away from it. So I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah.
Beat it, the super soft micronut. There you go. I love it. It's perfect. JLS
And the turbo
says,
grape.
I only cared about scores at Aladdin's Castle Arcade. I'm trying to think, Jesse. Did they have did they had a scoreboard there, right? For each game? I never we never had Aladdin's in Canada, I don't think. But I'm trying to remember our one buddy Barry, who has the Guinness World Record for the biggest Sonic collection on the planet. He's in the States, and he has an Aladdin's arcade marquee in his game room, like from an actual one. Is that the one you're talking about? I think they used to have a scoreboard. Anyway, more contest problems. We don't need to read that. It's just dumb. Okay, let's move it on. Move on.
Isolated warrior.
Wait a minute.
What?
I feel like we did these. We do these already? We do the
From The
Simpsons?
Simpsons. Not this Simpsons. I think it was another Simpsons.
But
It's
there was
obviously it's a new magazine, so it's not like we did these already.
Yeah, it is a new magazine. I just feel like we've done Metal Storm. Okay, I guess not.
I think there was a preview on Metal Storm a few issues
Sure.
back.
So let's see what our favorite review crew has been up to. Steve, the games at the Consumer Electronics Show continue to come in droves. The boss is knee deep in carts, and there is no end in sight. Is the overall quality up with the prices? See, that doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, what's Ed
Steve's
up to?
thinking back to that message about only paying the best dollar for games because that's the only way to be worth it, right? Neo
Yep.
Geo all the way. Ed's got that far away look in his eye.
Oh,
And
bless.
that must mean that he is getting ready for his spring trip to Japan. Japan. Every time I can't help it. I just think of the way they say it in Street Fighter every time I hear
Street Fighter,
Japan.
yeah. Yep.
He keeps mumbling something about Mega Drive CD-ROM. Bum, bum, bum.
Wish Bone Storm was a real game. Oh yeah, that was from Simpsons. That's right.
Yep. Bone Storm.
The Simpsons. I guess this is Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Yep.
7 from Steve. The Simpsons has some cute catches. See, it's not me. What does that even mean? The Simpsons has some cute catchphrases and definitely the name to score a million, but all of the extra features that are supposed to add to the game do instead detract and slow the play down. It does have originality within the tired theme and makes the Simpsons fans happy. Dude, that's a lot of weird words in a row. I'm just saying.
There's 20 issues in. We should be used to this by now.
But we're not.
Let's see. Ed gave it an 8. The Simpsons combine a good mix of action with adventure. There are quite a few. There's quite a few not so obvious objects hidden in the game, and will take some thought to flush them out. It plays well, and with the character recognition and humor built in, it will be a hit. I feel like Ed did a pretty good job there.
Yeah, that was good. Anyone in chat play Bart versus the Space Mutants? Gonna echo what Will said a couple weeks back, where this came out and it should have been better than it was.
I don't understand. Like, these are pretty high scores. I was expecting a lot worse. Maybe I missed something. I don't remember enjoying this game at all.
Mutron says, Jay, my favorite part of this section is guessing how drunk the reviewers were when they were typing. Yeah, or it's like their own language too, because they've only allocated themselves, just this tiny bit of space. It's like what, 2 or 3 sentences. So I feel like they change the wording and shorten things up in their own language, which makes sense. But for common readers, I don't know. Yeah, this is the review crew Cutthroat. Metal Storm. This is by Ireme for the NES. Steve gave it an 8. Metal Storm is the perfect example of how to take an exciting theme and produce it correctly from beginning to end. You get amazing graphics, decent sounds, and enough pulse-pounding interaction to keep interest well into the action. It's not based on the arcade title, but it's solid. 8.
Maybe that's what we were talking about, was the arcade one back in the day. Was it?
Metal Storm, maybe. Yeah.
Spectacular graphics and some very innovative features make this one the best NES shooter to come around in a long time. While not as difficult as some die-hard players would like, the game is still easy enough for the average player. The reverse gravity is a big plus. Is that probably just like
Nice.
he jumps up and down?
Yes. Yeah. HGC is here. Hello, all. Did someone say Metal Storm? Yeah, buddy. Got an 8 and a 7. Oh, sorry, got an 8 and an 8 on NES. Good to see you, dude. I hope you had a good vacation this week. Moving on. Zombie Nation. I appreciate the fact that they went through and did all this backstory-ish looking newspaper, but it's a lot of text. I definitely wouldn't have read this back in the day.
I don't even Zombie Nation. I don't even remember this game.
I like the claymation though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they went out of the way to do a lot of work for that.
Yeah, it's great art for sure. Isolated Warrior by NTVIC. I have no idea who that is. Steve gave it a 7. Isolated Warrior takes some pretty standard stuff and does manage to make a game out of it. I put great in there. I added to it myself. In the role of the title character, the dangers the warrior encounters are straightforward, but the execution and depiction of the gameplay is what really elevates the game amongst similar carts. 7. I can honestly say I've never played this.
I've never even heard of this.
It doesn't look familiar to me.
It's an actual side-scrolling shooter, eh? Wow. Yeah, weird. I thought it'd be like just that screenshot is awful.
Yeah, it's according to the description, a 3/4 perspective scrolling shoot 'em up. Huh. Yeah, never heard of it. Well, I've heard of it. I've just never played it.
There are some very good concept in this game. I like the diagonal paths, and some of the rippling motions that occur in the later rounds are decent. It plays well, and it's pretty easy to keep powered up. Okay. There's a good variety of action, but the flicker does hamper the gameplay. Oh, it has some flickering, eh?
Now this is brutal.
We should play this one day.
Dragon's Lair for NES by CSG ImageSoft. For those of you, everybody knows Dragon's Lair, one of, if not the first Laserdisc-based games in the arcade, 1983. It was literally Don Bluth's cartoon come to life, where quick flashes on the screen they were like instant, and you would have to go left, right, up, or down, or hit the button for your sword. And it was that quick. And if you weren't that quick, Dirk the Daring was dead. Simple as that. But the game was known for being a living cartoon, and still is. It's still such a beautiful game. What happens when you take that game and try and put it onto the NES? Oh,
I'm in the camp. I've never liked Dragon's Lair. I don't even think they're games.
Do you remember? I think we were working together, and it came out on iPhone. Yeah, we were in Westmount.
Yeah,
came out on iPhone, and we were sitting there all day. Remember, because you could just keep continuing. We're trying to do it, even on the iPhone, which is I mean, I guess it's the same, but we couldn't get far. I suck. I still suck at it. You have to be so fast. So you really have to just look at the center. You can't really watch what's happening because if you do, you're dead. But it's an interesting idea. Anyway, it's on the NES. This game is terrible on Nintendo. It's so bad. Um, I can't blame them for trying, right? But I'm surprised it actually got these high of scores because it's bad.
Four and
So Steve,
five. That seems right.
yeah, Steve gives it a 4. Excuse me. This Dragon's Lair takes the concept from the Laserdisc game and mixes in some high detail graphics. The results do not have the impact on the NES. The game really breaks down to little more than memorization of the patterns and learning which buttons to press. Is this fun?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Is that a question? I feel like they should tell us if it's fun or not.
Is this
This is
fun?
not fun. I feel like that should have been a better
Yeah.
statement at the end. This is not fun. There are two types of hard games: those that are challenging and those that are so difficult to make them uh, frustrating. Okay, there we go. This one is a good example of the frustrating type. Every move has to be timed and executed perfectly, and that's a near impossibility.
Yeah, so it sounds like they tried to mimic the arcade controls. But yeah, this game is slow, it's dull, and it doesn't capture the arcade at all. But I mean, I can't say I blame them for trying it. I mean, just the name Dragon's Lair alone, I'm sure they sold lots, but yeah, it's not very good. We're going over to the Master System, and as we can see, the very quick decline of the poor Sega Master System, there's just nothing good on it. And like I said a few weeks back too, all you're going to see now is just games that have already come out on the Genesis, and they like port Moonwalker on it, they port Ghouls and Ghosts, they port Mickey Mouse, and they're just not great versions. Anyway, but Mickey Mouse seems to get a good score. 8. Every once in a while, Sega manages to deliver the goods and really get us to thinking how archaic the Master System really is. Mickey looks decent. That's not archaic. What is that? Yeah, it is archaic. The Master System really is. Mickey looks decent for 8-bit. And more importantly, this title has a good balance of gameplay to make the whole thing worthwhile. Congratulations, Sega Master System owners. You have one game you can play this year.
Womp womp. Ed gave it a 9.
Hipster. Neo Geo player.
It. So which one is this? This is Mickey. Like, was just this on the Master System, or was this like
So
the Castle of Illusion
I'm
brought out?
assuming this is a Castle of Illusion.
Yeah.
Which of the theme of the game has been lifted from the Genesis version as Mickey tries to make his way? Yeah, it's Castle of Illusion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't say specifically, it just says Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mickey scores another hit for Sega. This is a good example of a game that doesn't have to have a ton of memory or a 16-bit processor to be good. Mickey animates well. The quest is challenging, and the best of all, it's fun to play. The Smiths can use more carts like this. I saw Sega Master System on the Facebook Marketplace recently for like $150 with a few games, and I was like, maybe I should get that.
You don't have one?
I have that broken one that I got from Murray.
Right.
Like, it has the corner out, but I never actually plugged it in to boot it up to see if it worked.
Oh yeah, the corner was smashed on it. That's right.
Yeah.
Gary's. However you want to say it. It got an 8 from our old buddy Steve. So we got a shooter on the Genesis by Renovation Software with 8 megs of memory. Gary's could be guilty of overkill. With the exception of enemy agents you've deployed to destroy, the game is surprisingly well balanced. Gary's is one of those few titles that puts a new face on an old genre, but succeeds in the process.
They do like their shooters, like their side-scrolling shoot 'em ups. They don't seem to tend to give a lot of them bad reviews.
Yeah, I think a lot of them back in the day were they were really great. They were fun to play. My problem with space shooters like this is they were still regular price. So for me, just paying $80 or whatever for a shooter, it wasn't my favorite genre. So I didn't mind them once in a while. But yeah, there was definitely a lot on Genesis and Turbo.
Hmm. I guess that makes sense.
Gary's.
I don't. I'm trying to figure Gyres, Gaiares, because that's Gaia and then Res. Gaia Res.
Gaia Rez. Whatever. Jerry's.
Hey, you know that game Jerry's? Play an old man in a wheelchair. Trapped in space. It's a geriatric shooter.
Gary's. Oh my god. Whatever. Gyrating. You shoot a dragon, whatever.
Now I want a game where you play as like some old person having a trip and they're just like shooting stuff from their wheelchair in
Oh my
space.
god. It would be like Goat Simulator.
Yeah, exactly.
More
Yeah.
to that.
I've been visiting it. I can't get it in my head. Uh, Games just don't get any better than this. The graphics, the gameplay, challenge level, sound. Everything is about the best ever in a Genesis cart. The bosses have to be seen to be believed. If you can get to them. Not easy, but not frustrating. Spectacular.
ICC says Gaia Rez.
Gaia Res? Yeah. Yeah, that's like separating them. You had Gaia and then Res. So maybe.
Hellfire. Another shooter. That's not the greatest of pictures they chose, but that's fine.
Just looks like an R type to me.
Hellfire, another Genesis space shooter. Hellfire is a quite enjoyable change of pace with enough originality with the selectable weapons to make it interesting. The graphics are fine, the action is good, and the only shortcoming coming from the confusion that can ensue when changing weapons. Good fun. Double coming from Micronut. Whoa, what?
Shortcoming coming. What? In many respects, Hellfire is as good as Gaia Res. But this soft is even harder. Wow. Too hard for my tastes, but there are players who thrive on that. Great scrolling, plenty of fast action, and good audio. Lose your power, and you might as well restart the game. Too hard.
Gramics are my attempt at comedy, Mo. Mispronouncing names. I think it's funny.
Yeah, like Turbo Grapes.
Yeah, Turbo Gramics. Dick Tracer for the Sega Genesis. Oof. I was playing this the other day. This game is not that bad, but apparently EGM doesn't like it. This one's made by Sega too. Dick Tracy Fever was 1990. You guys remember that? With all the success of Batman, all these studios are like, oh, what else can we pull out from the cobwebs of obscurity? Oh, remember that old 60s, 50s, 40s, whatever it was, cop show Dick Tracer? That was a different movie, but that's neither here nor there. Dick Tracy gets a 5. Dick Tracy didn't really live up to my expectations. The game is repetitive, with the side-to-side shooting become pretty boring from the start. Being able to interact with everything is cool, but that gets old after a few plays as well. Bonus rooms don't save the big name game. Yeah, so it's a side-scrolling shooter, but I talked about this before. You had guys in the background that would come too, and you could turn like Operation Wolf style and machine gun them in the backgrounds. I think it's fine.
Nobody likes Dick Tracy.
It's all about the Gramics, dude, bros. Hooked on Gramics. Dick Tracer. Yeah.
Ed gave it a 6, so he liked it a little bit more than Steve. For a while, Dick Tracy is fun to play, but that fun turns to more of the same thing way too soon. It plays well, but there should have been more variety. Decent graphics and great machine gun sounds. Great, okay. Are offset by a shallow game covered up by a big name
Movie. Interesting that we're getting a lot of the reviewers saying that already. That you're trying to hide just a mediocre game with a big blockbuster game. Because this movie, I don't know if you guys remember when it came out. It had Warren Beatty, it had Madonna, it had Al Pacino. It was huge, whether you liked it or not. This movie did really well, and it was big, man. People had those Dick Tracer shirts all over the place, and I didn't. I've never seen the movie since. I watched it once in the theater, and I've never seen it since. But I had all the Playmates toys. The toys were great. That's all I gotta say.
I don't
I
know.
think
I've
it's
never
pretty
liked
good.
Dick Tracy.
Well, Warren Beatty is not my favorite, and I think him and it was just kind of eh. Hal Wrestling, crush him. I'm good. Thanks, Hal Wrestling.
Yeah, put me down. Al.
Another shooter for the Turbo.
So many shooters.
Superstar Soldier for the TurboGrafx 16. I played this one. It's a shooter. And I don't want to discount the shooters. If you guys like space shooters, that's totally cool. Just for me, I'm getting overloaded. And this reminds me of playing back in the 90s where it was just like so many. Like on the 2600, we got so many space shooters. That very much happened here. Thank God we got other kinds of games as well, or we might have had another game crash. Anyway, 7. Superstar Soldier shares a lot in common with Blazing Lasers, which is the only reason that a comparison is made. Both have a good assortment of opponents, but in terms of sheer intensity, Lasers wins. If you want another variation on the theme, however, this will satisfy. 7.
Yeah, it's hard pressed to come up against like Blazing Lasers. That game's so good.
It's all about power up number 3, which is the lightning. You just sit back. Remember, you have it powered up like 4 or 5 times, and it's just the whole screen is just your weapon. You just sit there. It's
You feel
great.
so good. You're like, yes.
And then you get hit, and you're like, okay, well, I'll turn it off and you play something else.
I'm quitting. I'm going back home.
I'm done.
Another great. Oops.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
No.
I was just gonna say JLS sounds like Jay hates Galaga. Jay hates fun. It's official.
That's why he named Walking Dead his game of the year last year.
Oh, don't remind me. What was I thinking?
Another great shooter that has very fast action, lots of on-screen enemy and enough enemies. That should be enough on-screen enemies and enough power-ups to give you all the weapons you need. It's hard, and that is a welcome addition to, as most shooters have the difficulty set to too easy. A well-designed game with great graphics and sound. See, he's saying that it's hard here, but then he was complaining the other game was too hard. But then he's like, "Oh, most games are too easy." You got to stay on the same page here, Ed. Do you like it hard, or you like the super soft?
Oh, whoa! Let's keep this G-rated.
What do you mean?
Do I hate Galaga? I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I don't like Space Invaders, Galaga, any of those space shooters like that. I appreciate them. I think it's because for the longest while I had Galaxian on the 2600 and I played it so much. It just I didn't like that kind of game. Even now, I think if you play the original Space Invaders, it's I don't know, man. Just for me, it's a little rough. Just a little rough. But
yeah, it's hard to go back to. I find that it's hard to go back to some of those games. They're fun just like for a little bit, but I couldn't play them for a long period of time.
I realize the importance of them, of course, historically, and I understand that they were gangbusters back in the day. Just for me, I never gravitated towards that stuff. But Halo? Oh, I love Halo. Yeah, man. Halo 1 will always be the greatest with the LAN hooking up the 4 Xboxes. That was the best.
Okay, speaking of Halo, just diverge a little bit.
Yeah.
There's rumors floating around for a while now that Halo Master Chief Collection could be coming to the PlayStation and announced today. That would be huge. That would be insane. But Microsoft's already been starting to move off a lot of their titles and stuff, and we already know Halo's not as big as it used to be. So there's been a lot of rumors that they're not doing the newer Halos, but they're bringing out like the Master Chief, like the retro ones
Well, you know what? It's okay. You don't need the newer Halos anyway.
too.
You don't.
I agree.
I will say, if they announce Halo on other consoles, that is the end of their hardware. 100%. They're done. They're out of the game because
Yeah,
there
and you
will
know what?
be no reason to own an Xbox anymore.
I firmly believe that's we've talked about this many times, right?
Yeah,
And I firmly believe that's what Microsoft's moving for, right? Like they
I do
want to
too.
make another Xbox console. They just want to move Game Pass as a service and be a software distributing company and developer and not make hardware.
Yeah. And I've said this a million times. I don't understand how you could own Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda and still have nothing on your system. Like,
It's silly.
so it might be for the best. As much as I like the more consoles, the better. I love the competition. But for Xbox to just make games, I'm fine with that. If there's not another Xbox, I would be okay with that.
It's time for Sega to come back. The Dreamcast 2.
The Revengeance.
Yeah.
Valus 2 on the TurboGrafx 16 gets a 7 from our man Steve. Valus 2, like some of the other CD-ROM entries, offers up a standard action game, throws in some spicy sounds and intermissions, and calls it a game. And yet, plenty to shoot and interact with, but Valus 2 is not revolutionary in terms of play concept, despite some high points. 7.
Look at this. Rogueless King, you can.
Mo, Mo's got a request for you, Will.
We need the Dreamcast 2. Make it happen. I'm gonna get. Hold on.
Call Sega. Call their phone.
Get Sega on the phone right now.
Doop 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 doop
Wait,
doop.
nope. It's calling emergency services. I think they're trying to shut me down.
JLS says I managed to get Halo 2 downloaded onto my work computer back in the day before IT blocked the download site. That was look busy, dude. That is wicked. Good for you. Severus, welcome on in. Dreamcast 2, Dream Harder.
I love it.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Valus, sorry.
Did you read it? You read yours, right? Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
The power of the Turbo CD-ROM comes through again. Spectacular, true CD music and long intermissions help make the game as good as it is. I would believe that the game could be longer, as a good player could finish it rather quickly, but 8 rounds is average and not to be faulted.
Moving on to F1 Race on the Game Boy by Nintendo. 4. Uh-oh.
Big
This
surprise.
game resembles go-kart racing more than F1 racing. The graphics and the action are both flat with sound effects that aren't much better. As a one-player title, it just doesn't click. But for 4 people going head-to-head, it picks up a little speed. More backfire than bang here. And let's be honest, come on. With all these turbo taps and 4-player adapters, did anybody really take advantage of it this much? Because I didn't with my friends. We were lucky to have someone else who had a Game Boy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to have 4 friends and have the tap, and I think this came with the tap, if I'm not mistaken. And then, your 3 other friends had to have the game as well. It was pretty unlikely. But
So
that's
luckily for me, like I have 3 brothers, right? So
yeah.
my dad and stepmom one Christmas bought us all Game Boys with the taps and everything. So we could play games together like F1 racing. And I remember having fun with this. It's not
That's
a
cool.
great game, but like when you're playing like 4 of you on your Game Boys, all getting your own screens, like as kids growing up, we're like, this is so cool.
And it's almost beyond the game. Do you know what I mean? We talk about that a lot with 64, where it's just about you and your brothers or you and your friends being in the same room. That's the most important part of it. It's funny how we didn't really know that at the time, but It's all about GoldenEye, but it's not really about GoldenEye. It's about punching your screen-looking cheater friend in the face. Did you? Oh, you haven't gone yet, or did you go?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is the first of the more than two-player games, and it can be enjoyable when all four are playing. See,
There you
idiots.
go.
It isn't a spectacular cart if you're playing alone, as it can be rather boring. Chase HQ is a much better game, and you ought to think twice on this one. Bum,
Yeah,
bum,
so there you go. It's not
bum.
my fault. It's not Nintendo's fault that I didn't have brothers or that I didn't have friends who also had Game Boys. Not Nintendo's fault. I'm sorry, Nintendo. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
like
so
I like all the stories you guys had for like playing like engineering lab and stuff. So when I was in high school, I really liked the teacher, but the teacher was very absent for
okay.
our like tech room stuff, like doing like computers and that. Well, I used to be in like a engineering like class at in high school where you learn to solder and link up computers and program and stuff. But a lot of times he would just like come in, give us the sheets, and be like, "All right, go do your thing." So we went off into a room and we brought like computers into another room and networked them together, and we started playing like Duke Nukem 3D multiplayer
Oh my
and
god.
Quake 3 Arena eventually. And we're like, that's all we would do. And we still got like 80s and 90s in the chorus, but that's like we just go off, play video games, have them looked up, like, hey, we made a network. Yeah, it works.
That's amazing. Excuse me. Yeah, Mo was sharing that in college. We had Doom hooked up to the engineering lab for hours of fun. That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, Doom multiplayer was well, Doom in general is revolutionary, but then you add the one-on-one multiplayer and it was crazy. Then you go a step above that with Quake, and now you have four
Ugh.
players. Oh my god.
I really miss, there's not many of them anymore, but that arena shooter like Unreal Tournament and
Oh,
Quake 3
Unreal, yeah.
Arena. Oh man, like those were the days. Like I really, really miss that genre of shooter. I wish they would bring it back, but
Like
there just doesn't seem much interest anymore.
well, yeah, like the Doom shooter, right? Where it's just you just walk around. Remember, like another great one was Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy,
Oh man, we played a ton of that. That was
right?
so fun. That
So
still to
fun.
this day probably has the best lightsaber like battle system out of any of them.
And force abilities, man.
Yeah.
Like
Ah,
remember force choking, and then you lead them over to the edge, and then you let go.
you drop them, you're like, see ya. Or you
So
like
good.
force choke them, hold them up, and then you like throw your lightsaber at them.
Yeah.
Ah, that game is so good. Yeah, Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein, yep.
Um, the what was the first like 3D Wolfenstein that came out? So not like the 2D, 3D like Doom style, but the other one, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Was it? I can't remember now. Anyways,
Yeah.
it was on Xbox and PC, but that
Yeah.
had a really fun multiplayer component too. We played the frick out of that.
Yeah, yeah, I miss just the arena shooters too. It was just pure skill, like jumping with rockets at the feet.
Yeah, yeah. Like you time your jumps and stuff, and what a
Those
time to be alive.
smaller arenas, like some of the smaller Halo 2 maps. Yeah. Yeah, I miss it too, man. Jackie Chan Action Kung Fu for the NES, who said it. Severus said, "Oh my god, Jackie Chan has been kicking butt for as long as I've been breathing."
Yeah,
Dude,
the guy's up
he's
there.
yeah.
He's a legend, and he's still doing stuff.
Yep.
He just had a Netflix movie with John Cena that came out last year, I think.
Oh, no way. Yeah, there's a Jackie Chan game on Turbo, and there's one on PS1.
Mhm.
Uh,
There's also a Game Boy Advance
oh
Jackie
yeah.
Chan game based off of the Jackie Chan animated cartoon series.
Oh my god, there was an animated cartoon?
Oh man, it was one of my favorite cartoons. It's so good.
I don't remember that one.
Mhm.
Crazy. Oh no. Oh god. What are we even looking at? Where's Dirk? I didn't even see him. So Dragon's Lair has also made its appearance on the Game Boy. Oh my god, look at Ninja Combat. There's two Neo games here for Mr. Elitist from the beginning.
One really good, one really bad.
Dragon's Lair for the Game Boy 5. Dragon's Lair on the Game Boy is slightly more playable than the NES version, but it still doesn't have the right mix of great graphics and solid action, Micronut style. The quest becomes repetitive almost immediately, and even through. Oh, it's sorry, and even though that was me. The quest becomes repetitive and more immediately, even though there are some nice sights. The game needs more of a punch.
A whopping 5.
5.
I actually liked playing the Game Boy version better than the NES cart. Wow. At least I
Whoa.
didn't get frustrated. There is a lot of jumping to do, and timing is critical, but not as critical as the NES cart. It looks good and plays as one would expect from the Game Boy. This is what I
Yeah.
want. I would love to play if I had an SNK.
Magician Lord?
Neo Geo. Yeah, I've always heard like you've talked about it a bunch, and a few other
It's
people too.
good. It's good. I was playing it the other day. It's really good. I
I
still
wish I got
have.
that re-release Neo Geo that they had.
Yeah, that's. I was playing that.
Yeah,
It's the shell of the console, but you open it up and it's the portable.
yeah.
Yeah. Remember, we got like 2 of those in at EB. I remember. We didn't get many. It's a great game with a killer soundtrack. Magician Lord by SNK for the Neo Geo. Here you go, Cutthroat. Definitely a winner. Magician Lord has the perfect blend of advanced graphics and strong play, evenly spread out across a fantastic series of worlds. Shape shifting enhancements broaden the scope of play even further. Great bosses and lots of challenge. Yeah, this mother's hard. Dem Guts, what up? Good to see you.
Hi, Dem Guts.
9 out of 10, buddy. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to buy this one. And this one would have been $2.99 US
I wonder
if
what
you had a
they're.
Neo Geo.
So what, like $4.99 now? Probably if you find one.
Well,
$5.99.
they've always been expensive. Yeah. And if you want to get crazy, look up Neo Geo CD games. That's like, forget it. Forget about it over here.
Retro's tough right now, man. It's so expensive. There isn't much a person can't want in a game that isn't here. That is the worst sentence. It plays like an arcade game. It has the graphics and sound like an arcade game, and it is an arcade game. Okay, that's the second worst sentence ever. Okay, you're doing really bad here, Ed. If you have a deep wallet, why not get an arcade game? And this is the one that easily fits in a home. That's the worst review. That, like, he said a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, so he did. It is an arcade game. It looks like an arcade. I gotta say, I think that these 2 Neo Geo reviews are directly in here because of the letter at the beginning. I'm pretty sure they are. And I agree a little bit with what he said, where there should be Neo Geo coverage, because even if it is an elite system and not everyone could afford it, it should still be covered.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. Curb Stomp, what's up, dude? How's your Sunday morning going, dude, bro? Okay, Ninja Combat by SNK once again for the Neo Geo. 4. Ninja Combat does deliver the awesome graphics and sound you'd expect from the Neo Geo, along with a game that provides multiple personalities that each possess different attacking styles. With unlimited continues, however, you can reach the end of the game in no time. Does that really warrant a 4? 40%?
No, it doesn't sound like that's a 4.
That's
That
not a
sounds like a
4, man.
6. 6 or
Listen,
7.
okay, I'm going to ask the chat. I'm going to ask Willie. Because the game has unlimited continues, is that a detriment to it? Given the fact that you're going to pay $250 to $299 for this game, what do you think?
I think if we go back to what Steve was saying about like how like some arcade games don't transition home well enough because of the unlimited continues, because it kind of takes out the purpose, like the whole like difficulty of it, knowing that you can just infinitely keep spawning back and like keep progressing. Unlike when you're actually playing in arcades, generally you have a finite amount of money that you can actually bring and use, right? So you're like, well, do I want to continue or do I want to move on to something else? Or do I just run out of money, right? That's the whole thing that they were talking about, is like just some arcade games don't transition to the home very well and kind of take away from the experience, I find. Personally.
Different opinions in the chat. Okay, I just had this thought. What if you had something like Ninja Combat? And I mean, I'd have to go into the young adult eyes back then. I wasn't working. Well, I was working back then, but not enough to make a Neo Geo. Okay, let me just spit this out. What if you had actual money? So, say you had $10 and you were going to take that $10 to the arcade. Why don't you take the $10, slap it on your table, and divide that out and say, I have this many quarters for Ninja Combat. Once I'm out, I'm out. Or limit yourself to 3 continues or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, make your own rules within the game so that it's not, you could just beat it every time. Just say, I can only have 5 continues and then we're done. Right? What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's like when I went to the arcade, that's how we used to do it, right?
But you're doing that in the arcade because you have a finite amount of money. So say you
Yeah.
went to the arcade with $5. Well, if you had this in your home and unlimited continues is a big deal, just say, okay, I only have 5 continues. That's it. I don't know. And then you would have to start again. You could start again and play again, but see if you can get farther. I don't know. You're kind of challenging yourself at that point.
I guess.
Hey, Crow, how you doing, man?
Here's an idea. We're nickel and diming everything for nowadays, anyways. So why don't we make arcade games where you have to buy actual money and then you just start putting it on there for online play? You want to continue? You know, give me $1.
Don't you ever say that out loud. Don't give them any more ideas to give us, take money from us.
Game's free. You can download it, but you put in $1 to play.
We're heading there anyway, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
We're not going to own any games soon enough anyway. Matt says, I don't think so. Having unlimited continues just allows you to actually complete the game. That's what irks me. I play most games for the story, so unlimited continues helps me get through the entire story. Yeah.
That's fair. I don't think there's a right and wrong. It's just a personal feeling, right? Like, you know.
I find arcade games like not Magician Lord, but Ninja Combat work better in the arcade. So one of my favorite arcade games is WillLo by Capcom. And in WillLo, if you die, you start back at a checkpoint. I don't think that works in the arcades as well as dropping in a quarter and continuing right where you are. That's just me. But there you go. Okay, moving on. As my gaming skills are super soft, I appreciate the ability to continue. I can micronet thinking. Dude, that's hilarious. I love that we create new languages. Isn't that right, bro dudes? Bro dudettes.
Bro dudes and bro dudettes.
Yeah, we're just 2-hour bro dudes. That's it.
Oh, here comes the crazy now.
Quarterman, I love you. I hate you.
He's so wild. He's just so all over.
Well, thankfully, 3 of these are smaller. Okay, I'll do the second one. In a bit of related Nintendo 16-bit news, and for those of you who don't know, Quarterman is the rumor guy for EGM, and what's always been so great about Quarterman is most of the time his findings happen to be true. So anyway, remember they talked about the Star Wars prequels like a couple issues ago? Insanity.
Before
anyway,
like they were even announced?
In a bit of related Nintendo 16-bit news, the Q-Man has uncovered what could be the super secret name of the American Super Famicom to come. While it has been lavishly referred to as the NES SFX within the company, a source close to the project indicated that the street name would be Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Dun, dun,
Doesn't it make you tingle all over, Micronut? Sure does, bro dudes. As far as the competition is concerned, the most noise is being made from the one company that is yet to find 16-bit shells to load into the gaming rifle. That would be the Atari Corporation. Atari Corporation appears to be making definite moves towards the completion of the Panther, the 16-bit banger, for display at the Summer Consumer Electronics Show. Mum's the word at Atari, however. Did you call them? How do you know? Did you phone them? So this rumor wasn't even acknowledged, let alone denied.
Womp womp.
The other thing, too, as we're reading these from Quarterman, guys, Quarterman just kind of spews out what he's thinking into sentences. So often times it'll go here and there, but just bear with it. Will's brain's broken. Just give it a second.
I was trying to find a good one. Okay, we'll just read the next one. Other hot stuff from the CES includes my projection that Sonic the Hedgehog will become the biggest selling Genesis cart to date.
Whoa.
I don't know if that ever statistically became true.
Sonic sounds like a bro dude to me.
Oh, Sonic's definitely a bro dude.
Yeah.
The game has got awesome graphics, sound, and gameplay that is good enough to take on Mario. I couldn't say that out loud. Yep.
Wrong.
Listen,
Incorrect.
I think I've said it before, but I don't like Sonic.
Sonic sucks.
Including those with the 16-bit variety. Yeah, like I just never thought Sonic played well. It looks great, and I will say, like, the Sonic music and soundtracks are fantastic and like iconic at this point. But Sonic has never played well.
He's a good I think the character's fine, but that's it. Maybe Tails, maybe, but the rest of them I think are just they're all throwaways. For me, that's just my thoughts too.
Yeah, this is just a personal opinion. Don't come at me.
Yeah.
I
Don't
know
come
Sonic's
at us.
obviously big because they have a movie and now a Knuckles TV series. And like they have infinite amount of like Sonic cartoons.
The games seem to always just do kind of all right, and it's just there's constant Sonic stuff coming out, which I don't get, but
somebody's buying them. Just don't look up either Sonic or Shadow Rule 34 because you're gonna have to bleach your eyes.
Oh no, is it? Oh boy,
it's bad. Jay's looking now, guys. Guys, stop him!
Oh my god, it's Micronut.
The proto shown. Okay, you could have just said prototype. Shown at the show wasn't even completed and still drew crowds and accolades from game players in the know. Could it be? I've just received a rumor that from an ultra secret source with the Sega organization that planning is already to be considered for Sonic 2 games. So Sonic 1's not even out, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to make Sonic 2. It's going to be amazing.
They got a prototype at the show, so the game's not even done for the first one. Yeah.
I can't wait, guys. Put him in a land. Give us a world. Heck, give him an Italian sidekick, but get Sonic to us fast. Can you imagine if Sonic had an Italian sidekick?
I don't know. HCC says, speaking of dude bros, my flight home last night had two sizable groups of college age kids, and they're most bro dudes. They bro dude. Yeah. Okay. So I've been talking about this. The term bro with younger streamers, specifically streamers on Kick that I've witnessed, it's every sentence ends with bro, and I'm like, it's so irritating, right? It's like, come on, bro over here, bro, let's do this, bro. Is it any different than when we used to say dude or man, though? Think about that, because I corrected myself. I'm like, man, I've never
you still
these
say
guys,
dude a lot.
They don't know what they're saying. But is it any different than our generation saying dude or man? I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know if I've ever actually said either of those.
You don't say man? Come on, man. What are you talking about, dude? See, look.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said you say them a lot. I don't think I've actually.
Says, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I would agree. Just there's something about bro that just it really irks.
Does anybody still watch South Park? I really like South Park, but they have a character on there called PC Principal, and that's how he ends like most of his sentences. Like, "What are you doing, bro?"
No, because it's on like some network I'm not subscribed to anymore. I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to watch it. I don't have that.
Oh, well,
But Dexter's on there. The new Dexter's on there.
it
Ah,
is.
well.
I'm gonna tell
Uh,
you if it's still the same. Like, do you have Amazon Prime?
yes,
So you can get Paramount for Amazon Prime, and I that's how I do mine, and it's only like $5 extra a month is what they
I
charge
can't
for
do it.
Paramount.
It adds up too much.
I know we only have a couple of the streaming services, but still,
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm saying I like, have as much as you want, but
yeah.
um,
So if you want to watch Dexter, at least it gets a semi better ending than the original did. It's still not great, but it's a little bit better.
okay, so that we're derailing it to Dexter talk again, guys. Sorry, give us 1 second. So that Paramount one is that limited series that came out a few years ago, correct?
Yep.
So there's the end of the show where it ends terribly, and
Yep.
then there's just that one season, and now they're working on the prequel.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I thought there was that new season, and then there was another one because I'm seeing it in
No.
my feed in social media now on Paramount Plus. I'm like, oh, there's a new Dexter? No, it's the one that came out in like 2020 or whatever it was,
Yeah.
2019.
Honestly, Paramount Plus, like, it's a pretty good service. There's a lot of great movies and shows on there. I really recommend.
So for $5 extra, you think it's worth it then?
I think so wholeheartedly. There's a lot of stuff to watch on there.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think we watch Paramount more than we do Disney and even like Amazon Prime on its own. I was thinking about canceling my Disney.
I canceled mine long time ago, man. I have Disney, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. That is more than enough. Matt says I have Paramount add-on for Prime as well, which is great because you get access to the full Paramount app as well.
Mhm. That's good.
She's pissed off the entire flight. She's a teacher and she hates the do bro behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a generational thing, but there's still something about bro that just irks me. I don't know. I think bro might be said more. I don't know.
And you got to think about it. A lot of it is like younger kids that are still doing it, right? And like, I don't know, they're younger, they're finding themselves, they're learning, they're growing. You can't really be
Sure.
upset with them.
Sure.
We're all really did stupid things in our teenage years.
And in our 40s. Cheers.
I'm not there yet, buddy.
What? A lot of growing up to do, buddy. A lot of growing up. 40 is the new cool age. You got to be over 40. Come on.
That's next year.
I'm
holding on to 39 as long as I can. Like, please don't leave me.
When you hit 40, the only thing that really changes,
caring.
dude, is everything. It's awful, man. Hold on to 39. Hold on to it, for God's sakes. Live, man. Live every minute of your life. Sorry. I'm back, baby. I'm back. All right. Where were we? Neo Geo. Neo Geo. See, now they're all doing Neo Geo because they got yelled at by the California snob, whoever that guy was. Sorry. League Bowling, Blues Journey, King of Monsters, all fantastic games. Listen, there is no doubt that the Neo Geo and SNK in particular produce very high quality games. Metal Slug, anyone? Like, hello? The games are amazing.
A Metal
Go
Slug
ahead.
tile-based strategy game coming out.
Oh, I thought, remember that great era, dude, in the PS2 Xbox era when we got all those anthology collections?
Oh yeah, those are great.
Like Midway, Intellivision, we got a Metal Slug collection, Capcom Street Fighter collection. Oh my god, great stuff.
Most of those you can get online now, I think, like digital versions.
Yeah, or you just have to subscribe to whatever service and you get access to them, but you don't actually get them.
Immortal.
Okay, Tricks of the trade. We could skip tricks of the trade. We always skip the tricks of the trade. Oh, there's Gary's. There's Gary himself right there.
Guy Rez. Is that the right one? Yeah, Guy Rez.
Jamie Bunker, professional gamer. Okay, chat. First one to find me Jamie Bunker's profile and to see if he's still a professional gamer gets a Micronut prize pack.
Wow.
Do you think Jamie Bunker is still gaming? You don't count. You're in the show.
I'm just looking it up.
He's got a mullet too. I remember this guy. It's friggin' legendary.
There's a YouTube video from May 10th, 2019.
Jamie Bunker, he's still around.
Pro gamer Jamie Bunker, Genesis.
But is it like a retrospective on him, or is that his channel?
I think it's like a retrospective.
Jamie Bunkus. A Micronut prize pack. This is going to be a slightly damp pack. Oh my God. Mr. Rubin.
You know what's funny? You put up Jamie Bunker and Gaia Rez comes up on the Wikipedia. So he's listed in there.
So this is his game, I guess, because he's obviously Renovation Soft or whoever wanted him to be on the cover. But how can he be a pro gamer at this if this game just came out? Make sense?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, Jamie Bunker, first Twitch streamer. Oh my God. Madden. Rate the Dragon. Oh, Dragon Warrior 2. Ooh, look at these. Here's some nice stuff.
Well, that one's I like that one. Oh, wait. Oh, catching up. Hold on.
What, Dragon Warrior?
Mm-hmm.
International Outlook. So Japanese games, some came here, some did not. Blue Almanac. I'm pretty sure I've never heard of that, so I don't know if that came out. These are Mega Drive. So some Genesis stuff that we never got. You guys ever play Wrestle War? That was one that was Mega Drive that never came here. It had like bootleg versions of Hogan and like popular wrestlers at the time, but it was like giant wrestlers.
I never heard that one. No.
HEC, we were talking about Dragon Warrior the other day because it was a free giveaway through Nintendo Power. I never got into it, and we were comparing that to Earthbound because it's got the same kind of battle screen where it's first person, which is fine, except you don't see your guy at all. I know it's a nitpick, but
did you ever play Undertale?
I know of it. I've seen people play it, but I've never played it.
It's kind of the same concept, but there's a lot of really cool stuff they do in that game. I think that'd be
Undertale, yeah.
Since you're doing the RPGs, could be one to look into. I think that'd be fun.
That's that was made by one person too, I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Some more international outlook. Kicks is always a popular game. Wonder Boy, Dragon Crystal, Midnight Resistance. That's a popular Data East arcade game. I remember when that came on Genesis. Gone Soft on the Brain. Micronut.
Hey, Micronut.
What's up, Ghetto? Good morning, buddy.
Morning, Ghetto. Pilot Wings. Oh my God, these would be the first ones we've seen of Pilot.
The Super Famicom times, yeah. Pilot Wings, yeah.
Back in the day, you would have been like, "Oh my God, this looks amazing."
Yeah, like the first circle in the middle, we see just your guy plummeting to his death because nobody opened the parachute. Because it was way funner when you didn't open the parachute. But yeah, this was mind-blowing. I mean, this game was great on 64, but I think tech-wise, it blew me more away to see this on Super Nintendo because it's just a fancy tech demo. Pilot Wings always has been like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's great. It's just so much fun.
That and Star Fox.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Star Fox is wicked.
This is the future.
Behind the screen.
Where's Star Fox? Dead.
What's that?
Where's Star Fox now? Dead.
Do you remember Dinosaur Planet that became Star Fox Adventures for GameCube? There you go.
Yeah. Was that like the Adventures of Star Fox or something like that?
Well, it's Dinosaur Planet by Rare, and then that got scrapped, and they stuck the Star Fox characters in it.
Yeah.
But I never played that. I always wanted to play it.
I don't remember any of that, really.
No, wait, I'm thinking of two different games. No, that's right, Star Fox Adventures, and then there was another Star Fox in GameCube. Okay. It was different. Star Fox Adventures was Dinosaur Planet. That's right.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, because it was like the third person like adventure shooter thing, right?
Yeah, he had like a staff and stuff. Like it
Okay.
played really amazing.
Nobody bought it though. We
No,
couldn't give copies away those at the store.
no. Fox McCloud always shows up at Smash. Yeah, well, he's an iconic Nintendo character, but I just don't know how you would bring Star Fox into modern gaming. Like, where would you put him? Like, do you think if you made a Star Fox game now, it would sell? It seems pretty basic.
I think it would.
Think it would sell?
I think if they did it right and they didn't make it like a full fledged game, I think if they did it like bring back like the ship combat, kind of like how it was in Star Fox 64, but like obviously make it look prettier, and then make it like a digital release, I bet it would do well. I don't think a full fledged Star Fox game would do well unless they went balls to the wall and like you could land your ship, get out, and like explore and stuff.
That's what I mean. That see, I would definitely be all over that if you could get out.
But
Like,
that's
think
like
of
that's a
think of
lot.
what's the game you play?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Not as
Yeah, yeah,
big,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
think of like No Man's Sky, and you were the Fox characters in the Fox world, and I think
Could
that
you
would be
imagine if
cool.
another Star Fox game allowed you to have like a role playing adventure out on different planets and then just was better than Starfield?
Oh man. Well, if anyone could do it, Nintendo can. I think that would be great. I think they need something like that.
Hey, Star Nothings.
Starfield. Did the expansion ever come out for that?
Not yet, which is a shame because I paid for that. But whatever.
Oh, so you're gonna play it. Oh
Well,
my god.
I bought that edition that came with it all, and I was like, yeah,
I,
because Bethesda and cool, and then like
I
never
I
did.
did too. That was the oh my I don't even want to talk about it. Dude, I bought I bought my Series X just for that. How dumb is that? That's
Oh, I
dumb.
do remember that.
I
Yeah.
bought my Series X, which is right in the corner here, for that
You use your Series
because
X?
pardon me?
So do you use your Series X?
Just for Starfield, I have. Oh, I bought RoboCop on it, and I have Walking Dead. I think those are the only 3 games I have, like physically on it.
This,
Christoph, what's up, buddy?
hey, Christoph. This is a side note, but I find because like primarily I am a PC gamer, and it's not like I don't buy games for my consoles and stuff, but I find I don't use my consoles enough, if not at all. A
Well,
lot
I
of my
mean,
stuff is like PC, and I'm like, I have my games out there, but for whatever reason, I sit at my PC and play games.
I will. Let me just say it depends on the game. So I think you can agree that playing shooters on a PC is 100 times better.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a game, it's got to do something better than the PC does, unless it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch or something like that, or PlayStation or whatever. But for me to go back and play a shooter, like I should have just upgraded my PC instead of getting the Series X, to be honest.
Mm.
When I did, but I didn't. I've got the Series X because I think my opinion on Starfield would have been different. You guys remember when I was playing Starfield? I couldn't aim or hit anything. I'm like, I can't be this bad at console shooters anymore. But I really do have to say that once you play mouse and keyboard, it's very difficult to go back. It's so hard. I'm just saying.
No, it is. It's 100%. Yeah, I find myself more and more playing PC games, and like when I think about going to have my console, I'm like, yeah, I could just be sitting at my PC. I don't know. Oh, it's weird.
Well, I mean, if we go down the route where Microsoft, and we might find out in a few hours, WillLo, but if Microsoft pulls out of the hardware game, there'll be just PlayStation and Nintendo. We know Nintendo's never going anywhere. They're always going to make hardware. So it'll be
Yeah,
just the
because
two.
Nintendo's always been their own thing, right? I don't think we're gonna get like an announcement like, we're stopping production of like the Xbox console because like that's not the move. But I definitely think we're gonna start seeing more and more like Xbox titles starting to come to other platforms. Hell, like, okay, you didn't watch the summer game show, but they did announce a Sony announced the Lego Horizon based off the Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden
Sure.
West games. So there's a Lego version coming on that. But it's also coming out on Xbox and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy to me. You're like, wow, a PlayStation title is now like on Nintendo and Xbox as well. which we've been talking about for a while. I think that's the way the whole industry is going. Is just more things will be multi-platform, right? Less exclusivity, more of just play where you want and buy our game.
What all that matters is money, and I get it. And the hardware is not where they make their primary bucks. But I'm going to
Yeah.
say that they're going to end the console wars really fast if they keep doing that, because no one's going to buy consoles anymore. If you're just going to get something, you could get it on PC anyway. Then why wouldn't everyone just buy a PC? You know?
Yeah, but there is still a convenience to consoles, right? Like mainstream PCs now, compared to what they were, are a lot easier to hook up and play, right? Like you don't
Oh
have to
yeah,
fiddle with a whole lot of stuff anymore. But
especially
there's that
dude.
that
I
yep,
was just gonna say, like with the introduction of Steam,
yeah,
there's no more installing. There's no more anything. You don't have to do anything. You just click download,
yeah.
done. It
But
does it for you.
there's that old stigma for a lot of people where like, oh, I get so many issues on PC and then I have to work with these bugs and configure files. I don't want to do that. I just want to install it and play like on my consoles. And that's where like consoles still come in for a lot of the mainstream people where they're just like, yeah, I can just put a disc in or I can download it immediately and I play. It doesn't matter, right? They think the PC is still like some more grandiose, complex unit than it is. So that's where the market
Yeah.
is for consoles still, right? Is like that mainstream audience that doesn't fully understand what it is.
There's also the physical game aspect of it, where there is no physical games on PC anymore. And
Yeah.
despite what
But
a lot of people think, that is a huge deal for a lot of us still.
it is, but it's also becoming like a moot point on consoles. Like I do buy the physical disc, but we'll take for example like Street Fighter 6 and also the new announced Alan Wake 2 is getting a physical release as well too.
Yeah.
But but you cannot just put the disc in and play. It requires an update before you can play it. So even if you have that disc,
Yeah.
you put it in, you're not playing the game. You have to update it, and then like if you don't have internet connected, that disc is useless.
There's something weird. I could go to my shelf over here and pick up Star Wars Galaxies. And even though I know, let's just say my computer had a CD-ROM, which it does not. Let's just say the CD-ROM was there. I know that I could put that disc in there, and I know the game's not going to work.
Mhm.
So do I technically own it? No, but I still feel like I own it because I own the physical box, manual, and discs. I don't know, and there's just some kind of comfort for that to me. And I go back to the same thing where humans have to touch things. We have to touch things to experience them. Like that would be like, I used this analogy before, but it's like in the toy community, it's like, well, why don't we have just digital action figures? Because that makes no sense, right? Like you could have a
Yeah,
picture of a GI Joe figure. Well, why isn't that good enough? Well, because you want to touch it, you want to hold it, right? So I
yeah.
think a lot of
Well,
that comes into play
figures.
with me and older games where I know I'm not going to be able to play my City of Heroes. I know it's not going to work, but I still, there's comfort, and I know that I kind of own it at least. I don't know, man. Does that make sense?
No, I get that. That's why like I still buy physical games, right? Like
Sure.
I'm on the same camp. I still buy physical games, but I'm just saying like the way it's moving, unfortunately, is like physical media is not even like a point at this point in time because they're just
Well,
removing the
I
ability to play it right off the disc.
I hope we I hope I don't want to say I hope we have a crash, but I hope people put their foot down and don't support it. And I said this yesterday on the Fortnite stream. I'll be fine if physical media is not the commonplace, which it's not now. But if you can still get it, it's just in smaller quantities and harder to get. I'll be fine
Yeah,
with that. I'll be
that's
fine
like
with that.
that. What's that? What the hell's that game? That thing called? They make like physical games.
Limited run.
Limited run. There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's another one too that does it. That's how Alan Wake's releasing there. So they're
Yes.
not even like making a their own. They're just going through this company and be like, hey, make some of these
They
physical.
bought the license or whatever, and now
Yeah.
they can print off some
So
copies.
I
Yeah.
guarantee that's probably how it's going to go. But I think the companies themselves are probably just going to be like, nah, it's not worth our time anymore to make like actual physical prints.
So I mean, the you know we were talking about GameStop too, and if that's the case, I mean they're really done. They've managed to
Well,
survive and evolve, but if you're taking away physical media for PS6 or the new whatever the new Xbox will be called, just you can't survive, man. Like, what are you gonna
no,
sell?
but that's also like we could talk about GameStop because like the things in that. But like you go into a GameStop now, it's 80% toys and clothing and apparel, right?
And
Like
it's all bad toys.
yeah.
Bad, like there's only a handful of cool toys and a handful of cool things. They buy a lot of crap, but that's another story. Okay, let's
But
get
that's what's keeping them afloat now, right?
Crow says I switched to PC after the 360's Red Ring of Death, and I never went back to consoles.
That did kill it for a lot of people. Probably not gonna lie.
Curbstop says I'm console all day. I play multiplayer games on my Xbox, and I play solo games on my PlayStation. Chris, what's up, mate? How you doing? Good to see you. Pete, how you doing? Welcome on in. Actually surveyed one of my elementary classrooms lately if they'd rather buy a game physically or digitally, and they 100% said digital. They
Mhm.
say they don't care about owning a copy of that.
That's the
That's
thing.
interesting.
That
Yeah.
because that's how they've all grown up. Like
Yes. Yeah.
they're connected to like Apple. Apple does everything digitally. Like all their music is digital. You want videos, it's all digital. Like the convenience of it is being ingrained into the youth, and then like as they get older, that's the market that they're going to be catering towards, and that's just the way it's going to go. Right? Everything's going to be digital.
I would say I don't want to speak for I don't know what kids think today, but I think that this kind of thing being music, movie, or games are not looked at in the same kind of light or value system as we have for them.
Mhm.
I'm not saying they don't cost money to buy games digitally, but what I'm saying is why do they cost the exact same? Steam is the exception. Take Steam out of it. We're talking about console games here. Why is Spider-Man digitally the same price as it is physically? Like if you
Because
I've said this a million times. One sec. If you wanted
yeah,
digital to win and you want to stop making discs, make it $10 less. That's all you got to do, man. Heck, make it $5 less. And you will never sell physical anymore. There you go. That will end that.
yeah. No,
So
I
go
was
ahead.
the issue is, and I've said it before too. We as consumers have done it to ourselves, right? Because we have shown to these manufacturers and distributors that we are willing to pay the full price for a digital title without issue, right? Because people do it,
Well, we
and
don't have
then
a choice.
yeah,
Think
but
about it.
when there was a choice and people started doing digitally, they still chose digital over physical
What
because of the convenience. Do you
what
remember
you're
the Switch
doing,
when it started on the PS4 and the Xbox One? And then we started hearing, at least I remember hearing people like, "Oh, you're looking to pre-order this game?" Like, no, I'm going to get it digitally so I can just play it at midnight.
right? I was actually going to bring the midnights up. So thank you. Pete says, so yeah, it's likely going to die with us guys. Our generation, I don't know about that. Let me get back to that. Um, Midnights. What you're doing, this is a big, like, we could talk about this for hours because I think you're withdrawing more and more human elements out of society. So you're taking away the midnight launches, which, if we go back, and I talked about this yesterday, Will and I were lucky enough to be part of some of the biggest midnight launches in gaming history. One year, we saw San Andreas and Fable and Halo 2.
Mhm.
Halo 2 in our store had the second biggest numbers in Canada. We were there till 3 or 4 in the morning.
It was
It
fun.
was so fun, so energetic. Same with Grand Theft Auto, and Fable was huge too. Everyone in line was excited. And then the very last one I was a part of at GameStop was Red Dead Redemption 2. And it was the polar opposite, where there was lots of people there, but everyone was angry and grumpy and just wanted to go home. I don't know, man. Like, I think what was the first one to start doing this? Call of Duty, I think, was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
that made it available at midnight. A lot of these memories I have tied to games involve my friends and other people and meeting other people in line and getting excited. Oh, did you hear Halo 2 has dual wielding, blah, blah, blah. I miss all that stuff, man. And I think when you keep eliminating the human contact we have in gaming, it's very bad. Now we're going to eliminate the need to go to the store to buy the damn game altogether.
But I think just to interject
Sure.
is that socialization and like um, interaction with each other has just kind of moved, and we're seeing like a more apparent like it's moving over to streaming and the like, right? So like you will tune in. There's people that do like the big games. Some people do like a midnight, like, hey, we're playing this at midnight because it's coming out. And you get that interaction right away while you are playing the game and you're talking to people about the game at the same time, right? So it's just a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
avenue that it's moved to where I do believe a lot of people are still getting that. It's just on a different platform now instead of being inside of a store.
And it very well might be a generational thing. Like Pete says, that it will die out with our generation. It may very well be. Martin, how you doing? Um, because yeah, we often have, you know, fond memories of places like Blockbuster because you see all these memes all the time on social media. You see like a Blockbuster and you'll see the row of games and movies and it'll be like, would you have wanted to know that this would have been the last time you ever rented a movie? And everyone has such nostalgia for this. But let's ask ourselves this. Do we really want it to go back to that? Would you really want to? And I'm asking Will and I'm asking you guys in the chat, would you really want to go back to the Blockbuster era with today's PS5 and all that, where you would actually have to go look at a physical wall of games, pick up one or two, rent them for $10 each or whether for the weekend, and you had no access to online features? I'm just asking, like, because I don't
Personally,
know.
no.
I don't know if you would. I think it's nice to look at something like Blockbuster and be all warm and fuzzy,
Yep.
but would you really want to go back to that? I don't know if any of us would. I don't know if
Personally,
any of us
like
would.
I am on the whole convenience train, right? Like I can order stuff, I can have it here. I don't have to worry about quantities or whether the store has it when I go in.
Well, hang on. Ordering from Amazon is different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about,
Like renting though, right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
like
talking
the
about,
early days of Netflix used to do that, remember? They would
yeah, the
send you
mail
the
service.
disc.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
had
then
your
you mail
list
it
and you
back.
send it in. Yeah. I never did that. Did you?
Mm-mm. I was still too young at the time when that was. Or
Yeah.
was that the what were those ones in the stores? You remember Redbox or something? Or
Yeah, the red box machines.
yeah.
Yeah. They started popping up outside of Walmarts and stuff like that. But I'm asking you guys, like, okay, let's get a poll up. Will, I'm gonna get you to talk about a few of these games just while I throw this up here.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. We've got Star Wars from JVC and Lucasfilms. That was the bad one, right? That was the one that where Darth Vader turned into a scorpion. Is that the same one I'm thinking of?
Super Star Wars, yes.
Oh my god. Battletoads. I like the concept of Battletoads. I just don't think the Battletoads are like iconic enough, especially when you like base it towards like I don't know, Ninja Turtles. Could you imagine a side scroller like this? Well, they already had those, but like more of this, they just focus their efforts on Ninja Turtles. Just give me more
But
of
that
that.
was the era, right? We had Biker Mice from Mars,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sewer
Street
or
Sharks.
Street Sharks,
Yep.
all that stuff, trying to capitalize on the four dude bros, right? I mean, I get it, but
Bucky O'Hare.
Bucky O'Hare, I'm with you though. Like Battletoads, I think made by Rare, much respect. It is a great game, but it didn't take off. I mean, you're tagging them with Double Dragon. There's a reason you're doing that because the title alone's not standing on its own 2 feet.
Do you remember all the time there was that era where Battletoads was the thing people would call into GameStop for? Hey man, you got a copy of
Yeah, that
Battletoads?
old prank, that old GameStop prank. Do you have Battletoads? And I remember I'd call out the kids. I'd be like, I don't understand. Like Battletoads is a good game. Like I don't understand what the joke is. Why don't you do your research and like do a bad game? Like I don't know. Do you have Fester's Quest? See, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
like yeah, that I don't know. I don't understand. It wasn't it something like a YouTube thing where somebody called into like a GameStop asked for Battletoads and they're like, "Yeah, we got it," because it was like some associate who's probably a teenager who didn't really give two craps,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it was just like this whole thing.
I remember I wanted to bring my copy, my NES copy, in for the longest time and just print out a $999 sticker on it, put it up there, and just to see if anyone would ever buy it. But that's corporate doesn't like that idea. So let's get to some comments here. Pete says, I wouldn't want to go back to old school game rentals. I do think it taught you to appreciate the good aspects of even bad games more. Yes. And not instantly dismiss them. And I think that's what the generation of kids you're teaching, Pete, I think that is something that they don't have because they didn't have to go through all those trials and tribulations that we did, where if you went to Blockbuster and you were lucky enough to rent a game, maybe two, do you know what I mean? You had to live with those choices. And all of us played the games, even if they were bad, because, if you didn't, your mom will be like, well, you're not going there again because we rent the games, you don't even play them. So, yeah, I think that generation that you're teaching now, everything is so instantly dismissed. That's a
Mhm.
good point. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's something I never really thought of. That's a very good point.
Yeah, that's an issue. The pause music on Battletoads is great. I agree.
Yep.
WillLo, you could make reading a grocery list sound dramatic.
Oh, well, let me know when you need to get your eggs next.
Oh my god, Micronut. Mo says, at least I want an option to go back to a Blockbuster type store. I might not go as often, but I will still go at least a month. Okay, well, let me tell you this. Will and I have a store in town here called Jumbo Video
Mhm.
that you walk into it and it is literally like it's 1990, except they have everything modern. So they sell retro games and movies, but they sell new releases and rent new release games and movies. I haven't been to that store in at least 5 years.
That's the thing, right? Like it's
It's there. I can go there. Well, Jay, why
a
don't you practice
convenience
what you
store.
preach? I mean, it's half hour away from both of us. Why don't we go, Will? Because it's a pain in the butt, quite frankly.
It's true. Like I don't want to drive into the store. For me, like I live outside of the city now. So like, well, you
Mhm.
do too though. Like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get there for us, like it's still like 30, 40 minutes.
30 for me, like 40 for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we all look at the past through rose tinted glasses, and I get it. But honestly, if we look at the poll I put up, 40% of you said yes, you would want to go back to the Blockbuster days of renting, and 60% of you have said no. So I think we like the idea more. Now, where does that fit into what we're kind of talking about now? Um, there's a few games that came out last year, like Alan Wake. You had no choice but to get it digital. I forgot I had that. So the new DLC just dropped this week, and I'm like, oh, I want to get Alan Wake 2. And I'm like, wait a minute, I already have Alan Wake 2. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I have to like do a note in my phone or something of the digital games I have, but
Yeah. I didn't buy Alan Wake 2 originally. I think I'm probably gonna order one of those physical releases for it. Just cause.
the limited run ones, yeah. Yeah.
Because I understand, like I know I'm not gonna be able to play it, like it's still there, but it's on my shelf, and I'll be like, I have that. Nice.
I don't know if you care either, but Alan Wake is in the Fortnite store right now as well, which is pretty
No,
sick.
I don't care that enough.
It's just an old man in a suit. I don't want that.
I would sooner buy a John Wick skin in Fortnite than I
All
would.
right, all right, all right.
What?
TJC is here and Vickman. Good to see you guys. Vickman says, I always enjoyed renting games. Honestly, what I liked more was here they rent the game with the box and manuals and all. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
That's really cool. TJ, what's going on? Considering I worked there, I'd like the social aspect back from Blockbuster. It was great fun. And that's what I miss about working at GameStop was talking to all the regulars. Really. Okay, let's check out the 1991 Consumer Electronics Show, where you
We
guys have
went
been
through
spoiling
Battletoads and Star Wars already.
Star Wars. We got Scat by Natsu. There's your Super Tecmo Bowl for whoever was complaining about that in the editorials. Oh my God, Legends of the Diamond, embarrassing.
I don't even know
Sim
what that
City.
is. It's a, well, obviously a baseball game.
I think didn't this become Dusty Diamonds All Star Baseball or something?
Oh, maybe.
Because I don't remember Legends of the Diamond. Anyway, Sim City for Super Nintendo.
Woo!
Wolverine by LJN. Yeah, you like
Ugh.
Sim City, don't you?
Oh, I love this. I love city builder games. I've
Yeah.
been playing a lot of one called Manor Lords lately. I don't
Mm.
know what it is. It's just so relaxing and fun.
I loved the roller coaster ones. I used to play Theme Park on 3DO a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Roller coaster building ones are pretty fun. Same with the zoo
Yeah.
ones. All those like tycoonish type games that they used to be called. They don't call them in like that anymore. But
Wolverine is sucks. The LGN game
good
sucks.
old LGN.
But I will say at least it looks like Wolverine, unlike the first X-Men game for Nintendo, is he's just like a brown and yellow blob. Gunnak is a spiritual uh prequel, or I think it's a prequel to Blazing Lasers. It's the same developer. It's fantastic. I don't know what Totally Rad is. Bo Jackson, I never heard of the guy. Sounds made up.
Bo Jackson. Hey, Bo Jackson.
Super Spy Hunter for TJC, and Noah's Ark, which is an unlicensed Wisdom Tree game for the NES.
Is that the one? So apparently there was a good Noah's Ark game that was kind of fun to play. Is that the Wisdom Tree one though?
Probably. Their Wisdom Tree did a bunch where they used the same engine and just did a different coat of paint on it. So
Did
a
you
lot
watch
of their
that?
games.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say a lot of their games are the same. It's kind of like Konami's Turtles, X-Men, and Simpsons, where it's the same engine, but it's just different characters. Same
I was
idea.
gonna say, did you watch that Wisdom Tree commercial I sent you?
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Forget Mario, little Billy. You don't want that. You want Psalm 41 or whatever. It's like, what? Not really. Yeah, that's funny.
Mommy, where's Mario?
Lolo 3 for Will. For God's sake, they just said that.
Yeah. So low.
Man, this Consumer Electronics Show would have been cool to go to. Tailspin by Capcom, Power Blade, Tato, Lone Ranger, underrated game by Konami, Dragon Warrior 3 by a company called Enix. They'll never amount to anything. I'm telling you.
Mm. Tailspin though. Tailspin was great.
Yeah.
Another Capcom classic.
HEC says, I do miss walking through the video store and giving a movie a shot based on the cover. I could say that, dude, about everything. Games, excuse me, movies, even music to some extent. But I do miss, like, I mean, you would even go there, like, I would go there on couples dates with my buddy, or, you take your girlfriend there, and it was part of your evening was picking out the movie together. And to know that there was, quote unquote, I use the term loosely, but consequences to picking a bad movie because you had to drive your butt back to the store a few days later and drop it off, which I don't care what anyone says. That's the least favorite part of that whole experience. I hated it. Especially if it was a bad movie, you didn't want to bring it back. It's just like, oh
Yeah.
man, just throw it out.
See, the best times I remember for a lot of that rental stuff was when I was a kid, though, and like my dad would be the one going to pick those stuff up and then bringing them back. I didn't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. And
Yeah.
then when you got older, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not too fun. Double Dragon 3, Bill Elliott's NASCAR. These are all just banger games coming out in the
Space
next
Shuttle.
year. American Gladiators. Remember that show? Oh my God.
They briefly brought that back, I thought.
They did?
I think so.
Powerball. I know you gotta stream soon, so we'll get through this here. Smash TV for NES. RoboCop 2 for NES. Not a bad game. Something called Earthbound. I don't know what that is. No, Earthbound's great. All jokes. All jokes.
I had to look it up. It's coming. American Gladiators reboot launching on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Blaze, yeah, I liked Ice or Iceberg. I don't know.
I got
Oh, there's
laser.
Strider.
Laser.
They're still going on. Sega is still going on saying Genesis does what Nintendo don't, but that's going to change soon, ladies and gentlemen, because the Super Nintendo's on its way. But this is a whole
Sonic's coming. Wait.
dude. I had this because this was my favorite game at the time. This is a whole spread just on Strider. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. And then we got all these other great games.
Can you go back a sec?
Yeah.
Go back. A few more. One more. There. The very bottom down there.
Earthbound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that wouldn't be the Super Nintendo version.
That's Mother. Yeah, that's the first one.
So that would be for the Nintendo, which never actually came out here.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have the Nintendo subscription service for your Switch, you can play Mother on the NES emulator they have.
I just
With
thought it was
that,
interesting because they called it Earthbound back then, but then like Earthbound officially didn't come out until like the end of the Super Nintendo era.
yeah. And I forgot about the Conan game. That looks horrible.
Conan.
That looks horrible. Anyone
I think
ever play Conan?
I think
Or
I
any of
watched
it?
the I think Angry Video Game Nerd did a thing on it and it looked
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Are we gonna get a Bishu? I don't know if we're gonna get a Bishu ad. We'll see. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is horrible. Sorry, LJN man.
all bad.
Godzilla, Rockin' Cats, Touchdown Fever, Clash Ball. Do you play any of these? I don't recognize.
Rocking Cat sounds familiar and it looks familiar, but I don't remember it exactly. I think I did play that one. I don't remember it being bad. And I did play Godzilla, but I think that was still even Godzilla 2, I think was still that tile-based strategy thing.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
got it
yeah.
because I was like, "Oh, Godzilla, because that's so cool." And I was like, I don't get what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and then you get into a square and Godzilla can't turn around. So if anyone's shooting you in the back, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Matt said I played the Conan game after I watched Destroyer for the first time. Hugely disappointed. Speaking Moistly had the Conan game on Commodore. It was a fighter game where you could cut people's heads off, and some goblin kicked the head across the screen. Oh my god,
What?
it's amazing. PC gaming, man, no rules. Call for free prices on games and systems. Game Train. Oh, there you go.
That logo was pretty badass.
The Game Train. Low prices, buddy. What's 203 area code? I have no idea.
You're asking the wrong person on that one.
We got a lot of CES stuff here. What is this? Turbo? No, I don't know where we are. Oh, still NES.
I think we're on NES still, yeah.
Police
Power
Academy, the Tengen game that never was released. Interesting. I bet you could find that game online somewhere, like a ROM of it or whatever.
Oh, maybe.
You probably can. Darkman. Oh god. Oh no, thanks.
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Ugh.
I remember playing the PlayStation Die Hard trilogy, the arcade Die Hard trilogy. I don't think I played this one. This is similar to what was the game? What was the Schwarzenegger movie with Jamie Lee Curtis? True Lies.
True Lies. Oh, that movie's so good though.
Yeah, the game was similar to this. It was a top-down shooter, but True Lies was great.
That's like one of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that like everybody asks like what's one of their favorite movies. That movie's never brought up. I don't know if people just didn't watch it, but that movie's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. The $10,000 EGM Great Game Giveaway. We didn't win. Newsflash, none of us won.
There's still hope.
Still, oh my god, we're still in NES. Like
A lot of games here.
yeah, we're gonna just skim
Blaze
through a bit.
Buster.
Oh, sorry, which one?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was just looking at it as like Blaze Buster. I don't remember that.
Genesis here's. Oh no, this is Master. No,
Oh wait, is that the one? That's no.
what
That's
Spider-Man?
Sega. No, Alien Storm. I thought that was the one. I remember I sent you that pic of the stuff in New York. the Turbo games. And it
Oh,
was like
yeah.
Alien something on there. I can't
Yeah,
remember. They
yeah.
wanted $350 for it. I was like,
That
ooh,
was Alien Crush for Turbo. That's a
yeah,
pinball game.
crazy.
But it's really good though. Alien Crush and Devil's Crush are good.
Not $350 good.
Okay, did this ever come out? Jesse the Body Ventura by DreamWorks? That never came out. There's no way. I've never seen that in my life.
Hey
No
Jeff.
way. Jeff, what's up, buddy? Good morning.
Yeah, we gotta. Speaking of Jeff, we gotta plan our come down here and go visit places for retro stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of filming. Yeah, there's two places I want to go. I want to go to Tilt. I mean, we could do that on a separate thing, but I want to take you guys to that game store on the other side of Toronto. We have to go there. We should really plan that soon.
Yeah, we could plan that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we could do like a couple stops since we're going through there. We could hit that one up, Toyrat, and then like head up to that other one.
Yeah, there's a bunch over in the Toronto area that are fantastic. We got to go though, for sure.
Old Bimmy.
Bimmy and Jimmy.
Swamp.
The Jesse Ventura game got retitled. Oh, did it? Okay. I don't remember. Oh, Dando. Dando looks like Legendary Axe, and I don't think Dando ever came out here, but I remember that was a big game on Genesis I was looking forward to, but I don't think it got released here.
Kind of looks like Zelda 2 to me.
TJ, do you remember a game called Dando on Mega Drive? I wonder if it got released, just not here. Dark Castle, Might and Magic 2, King's Bounty, James Pond. Oh, who could forget James Pond?
I forgot about James Pond.
Failed mascots.
Like Bubsy.
Road Rash, Golden Axe Warrior for Master. Oh, so many good games. It's going to be some really great reviews coming up. EGM. EGM. Bishu. No. Game over. Did anybody in the chat ever beat Phantasy Star 2? If you did, you are God tier.
I think I mentioned this last time. This is one of those series I just never got around to playing. Maybe that'll be a thing I'll do. Maybe I'll play through Fantasy Star.
Yeah, you can find them literally on everything. But so good. Toronto has some great classic nerd stuff. Yeah, it does. 100%. Curbstomp, you have yourself a good day, mate. Thanks for hanging. The game's called Dando, TJ. Just wondered if you ever got it. There you go. Thank you once again, Retro Mags, for another great issue.
Woo, Retro Mags.
Here we go.
We did it. That was a long one.
That was good, yeah.
Well, we went off on some tangents.
Yeah. So it looks like the Summer Game Fest will be covering that Thursday. Well, I don't know if you're available. I'll reach out to you. If you're
in the daytime,
it'll have to be during the day, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Evening, I don't think I'm available, but I could probably be available.
It's the day. Yeah, I wanted to have Jeff. I don't know if Jeff's working or not. I did talk to him about doing the Summer Game Fest stuff. Again, it's still going on today, so I was going to go live right now, but Microsoft is doing theirs now, or they're doing theirs this afternoon, so I think I should wait till it's all done, and then we can just kind of talk about it with everybody. So look for that Thursday. But you're streaming today. What's going on Twitchland?
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know me, you can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/WillLo. I do survival crafting games over there. So today we're playing a game called Soul Mask. It's kind of a mix of Ark and Conan for those who are kind of aware of those type of games. We also play stuff like Valheim, V Rising, and we're actually going to be jumping into Conan as well soon too.
Conan?
Conan. That's right.
Wow, the old school.
Conan Exiles is what it's called. Yeah. But yeah, we love building and crafting, and I have an idea I'm going to be doing for the YouTube, evolving around role-playing games. So I'm hoping to get something out soon, maybe this month for that, and try to do at least one video a month on the YouTubes.
Oh, it's canceled, TJ. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so make sure you guys check out Willie at 2. Guys, I am done for the week. I'll be back Wednesday at 10 through Sunday But I want to thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out. And Willie and I are out of here for now. Let's end this poll. 67% said no, they don't want to go back to the Blockbuster days. So there you go. That's
Video game RPGs, man. I got a few that I got to start playing through, so I thought I would maybe start doing some videos of them, so I'd actually start playing them.
Yeah, video playthroughs are fun. Absolutely, for sure. Okay, guys, we're out of here. You have yourselves a good one. We'll see you in a couple days. Cheers, my friends.
Bye.